Check 1, 2. Wow, what the heck? Wow. Sorry about that, everybody. That was crazy. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Goodness gracious. What an auspicious beginning here. Is that the right word, auspicious? Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? How are you? So, yeah, that was not what I expected at all. Not much different from the game. Yeah, exactly right, Troll. Nicely, well played. Nimrod says, I wish you much luck, sir. Finding Quantanium doesn't seem to be too difficult right now. Finding Mindball Quantanium is a bit tougher, but it's out there. Yeah. I thought, you guys, that I would mess around with 318.1 in the PTU to see kind of what's coming, you know, but, I will say that the little bit of testing I've done, one thing that I really do like is there's not a ton of people on the servers. You know, I mean, obviously we're 55 and 55. When I first started, actually, this was 30. And so, yeah, I just, I will tell you that, it's going to be interesting. Who knows how it's going to go, but I appreciate you hanging in there. Sorry for those, that tough audio beginning. And, you know me, I have a prospector over here at ARC-L4, and I put a Brant and a Lancet, some Brants and a Lancet and some Brants on there, and we're just going to go ahead and get started here, monkeying around. So, not sure if you guys have seen, you probably have, the cool things coming up with, I'm really excited about the tractor beam stuff, you guys. I think that's going to be great. Stone Dog says, I spent 2 hours on the PTU trying to vulture out in the belt. Not one bit of salvage. I know, Stone. I mean, they scaled it back so incredibly significantly.
Stand by.
You know, I mean, and it was weird because literally like up to about a couple of days before they went live, I was really thinking that, really the best starting chip in the game was the Vulture. But then, like I said, a couple of patches before they went live, they completely kind of changed the way salvage worked as far as spawn locations go. And that's one of the reasons why I think the tractor beam, especially on the SRV, is going to become so important. Because you're going to be able to take, these areas like around Port Alisar where it's like you got mad, just junk ships. You're going to be able to go use the SRV, the SRV to pick those things up, maybe haul them to some kind of deep space location, and do salvage that way, where you're just kind of, and especially now that you may be able to remove the components, and that type of thing. Who knows? That could be actually a pretty fun game loop. Pyro says, "Hey V, how's it going? How's the servers been treating you?" Servers, I'm on 318.1, the PTU. So far, the server seems to be pretty good, actually. But we'll find out as we as things go. Check this, Ryan. Hey, Ryan, it's nice to see you. How have you been? Troll, Stone, Serp, Tookus, how's everybody doing? Northern Michigan today was an absolutely beautiful day. Still kind of, the dog days of winter. JS, Jonathan, how are you, sir? So, yeah, it's kind of the dog days of winter. It was a 45 degrees, but it was beautiful sunny out today. Absolutely lovely sunny weather. And, I couldn't really ask for it to be much better. It's weird. Kind of a hybrid mode going right there. The mouse and the sticks were kind of working together. So, we're actually going to start, and we're going to drop out at about 6.6 here on our way over to HORL2. Brandon Schneider, welcome aboard. Good evening. How are you tonight? Ryan says, been doing good. Miss mining with you, though. Yeah, we're going to do some mining here soon. Western LP, Michigan. Nice, Tookus. Yeah, I live up just south of Traverse City. Turbo Life says, what up, bud? This is the first time I've been able to catch you live. Turbo, welcome to the channel. Moon, how you been, Moon? Stone Dog says, got into the PU today, first time since 318 dropped. Running a Cutlass ROC, starting to get my prospector money built up. Now, Stone, were you able to do some ROC mining? Grift, nice to see you. Chris, how are you? Beautiful day in Central Illinois, too. Yeah, it was a really just a beautiful day today. Sun was shining. You know, I just could not complain a bit. Not a cloud in the sky, hardly. Griff, how you been, man? I'm up at my mom's north of Pelston. How much snow you get this weekend? We got a hammered, probably a good foot. At least after it settled, and it was at least a foot of wet snow. You know, we probably got a little more than that, but it compacted pretty good because it was so wet. We had a hell of a snowstorm this weekend. It was fun. It was a good day. I kind of shut myself in and played a little Diablo 4 this weekend, and I enjoyed it. Brandon Schneider says, bro, I got so mad last night while mining. Must have desync issue on Clio. Found the nice rock with lots of agricium and laranite that I tried to extract and exploded into fragments. Yeah, I've heard that's been going on a bit, Brandon. So, glad, obviously, other than that, doing fine. Griff says, hey, V, how you doing? How you been? I've been good, man. I've been really, really, really good. Just kind of really hoping that we can get around the corner on some of these, on Star Citizen behaviorally. As I'm sure we all are, right? We all would love to see the game get to a little bit more stable space. Yeah, I made around 300K on Daymar today. Nice, Stone. You had a good day then, Stone. Troll, smash that like button. Thank you, Troll. That's kind of you, sir. And I concur. Smash that like button. I appreciate it. All right, yeah, we're going to drop out at about 6.6 here. And take a look around. Now, we are in 318, once again, 318.1, the PTU. And we're just kind of seeing how things are going to be, not necessarily how they are. Moon says, I've been doing good, playing a little Diablo, but... Moon, I played some Diablo too. I really enjoyed it. What class did you like, Moon? Chris Bates says, this is better than my hospital view last year this month. I know, Chris, it's been that long since you've been out. And that's actually crazy how long it's been. I actually thought about that the other day. That it had been a long time. Brandon says, I think 318.1 drops, things are going to be way better. That's the hope, right? I mean, I think we're all hoping that a little bit. Moon, I was playing some DR2 the other day. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Hey, Wayne, nice to see you tonight. How are you, sir? What up, everyone? Hope I can start mining again in 318.1. That's where we're all at a little bit. I think that we're hoping that things will settle down a little bit. It sounds to me like Stone Dog, though, had a very, very good time ROC mining today. That's a pretty intensive loop, as you can imagine. Renting a Cutlass Black, renting an ROC, hitting planet side, finding things, and making 200 or 300K. That must have been a pretty stable experience. So. We're going to go ahead and see how we do out here in the old Aaron Halo in 318.1 on the PTU tonight. All right, what do we got there? That looked like a single rock, I think. I didn't quite catch the RS signature value, but we'll keep ourselves honest here. Oh, there's a nice big cluster out there. Look at that. That's a nice tight cluster. That's very likely going to be Quantanium, and you might say, hey, V, why do you know that? Well, it's because of how tight the cluster is. I mean, that's just when they're that tightly packed together, it's very likely going to be Quantanium. So we're just going to kind of shoot our guns here, kind of re-ping on them, and just see if we can't get a long scan to go as we approach. All right, so I missed the nurses. I see what you did there, Chris. That's awesome. Hey, Indigo, how have you been? Nice to see you. This is very likely Quantanium here. Except for, look at that, you guys. Of course, right off the bat, literally the first thing I scan in 318.1, it's Quantanium, but it's unscannable Quantanium. Look, I can't get any scans on it. So let's do the EVA trick, and let's see if we can get lucky here. And so we'll find out. Indigo, how have you been? Nice to see you. Wayne says, I didn't think I would like the new scanning system, but I think it's better. I do. Wayne, I like that it's all self-contained. I do wish that we got the long scans, like when you push and hold the scan from a distance. I wish those worked a little more consistently. But other than that, I have really no complaints about the scanning. Because I just think being able to identify things before you have to approach it and do a visual would be ideal. Now, this is an old miner's trick. When you find Quantanium, I like to get about 100 meters away from the prospector or so. You get that message that you've left the prospector. Zodiac, I think it's supposed to maybe in a week or two. It's not in a real big hurry. Jag, how you doing? By the way, Zodiac, how you doing tonight? Nice to see you. Jag, nice to see you. Ryan says shooting at the rocks works pretty well. Me and a buddy did it on a couple, and they came back to life. I'll try shooting them as too, Ryan. Shooting them sometimes works when they'll give you scan results, but they won't give you the actual details of the results. Not always when they're just completely unscannable at all. But we're gonna, we're gonna try the old EVA trick and see if we get any luck with it. So we'll give it a try, and I'll try shooting them as well. And so that was a nice batch of rocks right off the bat though that we found, and boy, I'd sure like to be able to put the lasers on them. So that's always a good sign when you find, at least you find some stuff at a pretty decent rate. So all right, so let's go ahead. Tuka says, I don't know if it relates to asteroids, but I had unscannables in my ROC. Yeah, you can see they're still unscannable for me, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. I do want to get a hit marker. So we'll approach these slowly. The refinery terminal won't let me transfer it to the terminal to a ship. Yeah, Indigo, I have heard that that's one area that's really kind of, I've been pretty lucky. Everything that I've put in the refinery, I've been able to transfer to my cargo ship. But I have definitely heard other people say that they're unable to. You can see I'm definitely getting hit markers there.
Fracturing mode on.
And no luck this time. We'll just keep moving. But that was a nice Quantanium cluster for sure. And we'll just, rinse and repeat and keep on moving. Let's see. Yeah, Indigo, I definitely heard that. Wayne says there are more clusters than before. I don't disagree, Wayne. I've seemed to have had a pretty good luck finding more clusters. Jags has just upgraded to a Cuddy Black on the pledge. Glad I did that. Yeah, that's a good, that's a nice, well-rounded ship, Jag. You'll be very happy with that. Daniel, nice to see you. Daniel Mandrakin says, hi, V. Have you done any mining at all this evening? I just logged out, couldn't break any rocks on multiple servers. Well, I decided to go to, because Daniel, I've also been struggling in the PU. I decided to try to PTU tonight and just seeing, how things are going to be with, and there's a lighter server load. I think there's 55 people on the server. That's a single rock. So I'm hoping that, that we're beginning to see some light at the end of the tunnel. While I learned solo mining in a mole, nice, Indigo. I totally understand how that goes. And that probably is going to pay you some divvies here pretty soon. Yeah, Daniel, I know what you're saying. It's mining has been kind of a mixed bag. I mean, the servers have just been grumpy, you guys. That's for sure. But yeah, I agree with Tukis. I think the Cutlass Black is a very, very nice. What is going on here?
Fracturing mode on.
What?
Mode on.
That's an E-type cluster that I just didn't pick up on my pickup at all. I just flying past them randomly. That's awesome. No, I do. I think that the Cutlass Black is a great early game. And quite honestly, it's not just early game, but I mean, but definitely an early game. It's a very, very, very good ship to have. Very versatile. Carries an ROC. Has the XL1 drive. Decent firepower. You can bring friends. There's nothing wrong with that ship. It's a great ship. Does this mean SC is working normally now? No, Troll. It's not working normally now, and certainly not in the live servers. And this is the PTU. Maxilar Nyla, welcome to the channel. Love having you aboard. He said, Max says, Mal says, Malixar. Sorry. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Recently subbed. Love the videos. Never quant mined before. It always seems so intense, but now I might give it a shot. It's not that hard at all. It's just like anything else, Mal. You'll want to build some muscle memory, and just kind of watch other people who do it, and you'll pick it up before you know it. It's not, and my channel is always dedicated to helping with that kind of stuff. So if you have any questions, you're in the right place. You go ahead and ask away for sure. Ryan says, I've been sticking to salvage for right now. Way more chill while I wait for the patch. Not a bad idea, Ryan. I think you're spot on to do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with waiting for, using salvage right now. I mean, salvage is in a better place, I think. In some situations. Ryan, where are you locating salvage right now? Is it pretty much at the Lagrange points, or are you finding it someplace off? Anderson Ferreira, nice to see you. Unfortunately, 318 is not worth mining. Quantanium is very difficult. Yeah, you're not wrong with that, Anderson. I mean, I can appreciate anybody who's a little tentative right now about mining Quantanium because of the way that the loop has been working. There's no question that there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and you know, I mean, mining is difficult. Can be difficult, but it's even more difficult when the server's not behaving correctly. I mean, so my problem has not necessarily been locating or mining the rocks lately. My problem has been more like getting them back to the hopper and having the, you know, the elevators work and all the other little things work. Mostly at space stations. Oh yeah, so you've been mostly around the Lagrange points, Ryan. That makes sense to me. I don't know that I want to, you know, I think when things settle down, you know, it'll make me wonder. Now here's some more. That's not Quantanium. That's good. All right, I thought it might be just based on, but I looked closer and it was not. ARC-2 is my favorite. ARC-L2 is my favorite for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. My buddy in live already mined enough to buy a fully upgraded C2. Yeah, you can mine. I mean, I have made a couple million myself, and I've hardly, you know, played. And I've still been able to knock down a couple million in mining. So it's not like it's not profitable. But there is a lots of times when you're just kind of, oh boy, here we go again. Or, you know, you just, it's definitely not super stable. So, you know, hopefully they'll get some of that stability, the stability issues knocked out. Now that's 5,100 our signature rally. That's 3 rocks. 3 rocks, never Quantanium in the Halo. So we'll keep on a trucking. And, yeah. All right. So we found one really nice RS signature value, 11,900. That was Quantanium rocks, but unfortunately was unscannable. So we'll just keep on moving. Indigo Blades says Cutlass Black, Titan Avenger, Prospector, Pisces are some of my favorite ships. Yeah, all of those are, every one of them I like. Absolutely. Seems like larger ships have a few things that irritate me. Also love the Connie Taurus. Every one of the ships you mentioned right there, Indigo, I like. Anderson says 318 is an incredible variety of bugs. You're not wrong about there. There's a healthy variety of bugs. Gaming Tribunal, nice to see you, Game. How you doing, man? Hope all is well. What do you think of solo mining in the Halo? I ask because I plan on upgrading my Prospector to a mole. You know what? I don't think, you know, as long as the rocks are scannable, I don't think there's anything, you know, if I were to go solo mole mining, I probably would choose Lyria just because of the fact that, you know, you're going to have maybe a better scanning type of thing, but you can scan. I mean, you can get long scans now, at a distance. And so there's nothing wrong with, you know, there's nothing wrong with solo mole mining at all. I mean, you know, obviously you understand if you're solo mole mining, you know, there's a little bit of a tediousness, you know, going, you know, back and forth from the laser. You know, some people enjoy it, some people don't. I prefer to solo in the Prospector, but as things change, you know, the meta's going to change dramatically here. So, you know, I may find myself doing a lot more mole, solo moling as well, depending on how things go. I would test drive the mole first; it has more potential. But I find yeah, I'm the same way. Indigo. I tend to, if I am in a solo mine myself, I tend to like the Prospector more. Hey, Crouch, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. What's happening? Morning, everyone. Save your cash at Zodiac. Ships bought in game will be wiped for 318-1. Yes, that's a great tip. Definitely save any of your AUEC that you've earned. Go ahead and hang on to that. Keep that. Anything in live that you have, because it's gonna, you know, that particular thing is gonna get wiped. All your ship components are gonna get wiped, but your money you'll be able to keep. So, yeah, keep your money 100%. That's a great tip, and 100% agree with that. Heard partial wipe. Keep your money 100%. Yeah. Back in a bit. Kids got to go to bed. Hey, no problem, Took. I know that goes for sure. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. So we're scanning these guys here, and just kind of checking out the scanning mechanics in 318.1, and they seem to be about the same as 318, which, you know, I mean, really shouldn't become as a surprise. by any stretch of the imagination, you know. But you know, hey, you know, I was hoping to be able to get a long scan or two at a distance. Trying to see if it would give me the type. You know, I definitely can see that, you know, it's a 3400 RS signature value with the 2 rocks there. I'm approaching them now. I'll just pull out the laser and we'll see if they're, you know, what they are.
Mining mode on.
Unscannable for sure. I don't think that's Quantanium. Let me get a little closer look, a closer visual. It actually is Quantanium. So, you know, now that I'm taking a closer look, let's try the EVA trick again. Sometimes you EVA hey, Mass, how you doing? Nice to see you. Sometimes you EVA, and right now I will tell you, this used to work in 3.17.5 about maybe 30 to 40% of the time. I'm at about a 10% ratio of this working in 3.18. So this doesn't work very often, but it's whenever you come across Quantanium, you know, it doesn't hurt if it's unscannable. If you pull your mining laser out, and it absolutely will not give you anything. Sometimes, once in a blue moon, you get out of the prospector, do a little EVA trick here, and then head back into the prospector, and then it will turn unscannables into scannables. So definitely try the mole if you have a crew. Oh, the mole with a crew is one of the... I've had probably the most fun. Now, don't get me wrong, because 318 has been pretty unstable, I haven't, you know, I can imagine salvage gameplay in a reclaimer can be a tremendous amount of fun as well, if everything's working good. But I mean, the most fun I've ever had in the ship is, you know, drinking a couple beers and having the mole out with a couple, you know, with good friends, and you know, it's just a hoot. It's just a hoot. You know, especially if you got good stuff to mine. Hey, Ramoyne, how are you? Nice to see you, sir. How you been? It's good to see you. All right, that didn't work this time either. I'll go ahead and kind of approach these guys. I'll get a hitbox on them and see if we can't, you know, we'll try a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but probably they're not gonna scan. This has been, you know, I started mining, and it was the 1 or 2 patches before refineries, and this has always been a thing. You know, unscannable rocks. The you know, someday they are going to fix this, and we're all not going to know what to do with ourselves. I promise you that. So, yeah, nothing happening there, and that usually doesn't work for me. But you know what? I thought I'd give it a try. Solo Reclaimer makes tons of money when it works. My goal is to get one. Oh yeah, I could appreciate that. Mobutu says powering off the ship seems to fix the issue of unscan. Oh, powering off, huh? Mobutu. Oh, can I find these? Did I fly too far away from them? Can I find them again? Ah, yeah, they're right there. Okay. We'll fly right back at the sun, and I'll power off. I'll give it a try. Hey, Kojak, how have you been, man? Nice to see you. George Grover, how have you been? Nice to see you. Thank you for the comments. Here in Brazil, things are a bit complicated, and I am in a financially difficult situation at the moment. As soon as everything is settled, I will turn all the support that you and your channel deserve for cordiality. Oh, man, honestly, you just worry about you. Take care of yourself, Anderson, 100%. And, you know, and thank you for the kind words. And, you know, more than anything, I do this primarily because I enjoy it. And so, yeah, man, you know, I hear what you're saying. And my suggestion would be you take care of number one, sir. Absolutely, all day long. Don't worry about old V. I'm doing just peachy keen. So, but I can't, you know, you just supporting and coming and hanging out, Anderson, on the channel now and then when you have the time and chatting and just kind of being part of the community is really more than enough. I truly appreciate it. Hold you. Mobutu, I lost him. I was just kind of lost in the sauce for a second. Let me see if I can find. I lost the rocks. Where'd they go? Hold on. They're super close. Oh, all right, I'll find more. But I know they're like right next to me. Oh, here's what I'll do. I'll fly towards this way, and then let me look back at the sun. Are they back there? I kind of got lost in the sauce there, chatting. Let's see. I think let's see. if the game wasn't bug-ridden at 318, I think a good mining crew could make more than a good salvage crew. I took the reclaimer out, got 35 boxes in one trip. I don't disagree. Listen, I do think that mining is a little faster than salvage. It can be. I do not disagree with that at all. But I also think salvage is when you can locate salvage, it's very, it's a great way to spend your time. It's enjoyable. It's a peaceful way to spend your time. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I guess I'm going to abandon those rocks, and the next batch of them, I'll power down and power. 3 rocks, that's never Quantanium. Chris says, I'd like to see somebody try and break the unscannable rocks. You probably could do that, but you might blow yourself up, Chris. I could have gone more, but I was afraid it would disconnect. Next trip, I bugged out when I find a trip. Oh, I see what you're saying, Indigo. Yeah. Not go. Yeah, okay. V, I found not only unscannable planet-side mining nodes, but they also don't exist. They show up on scans, but if you try and min them, they don't exist. Even walk through them. Yeah, those are called ghosted rocks, Grift. And we've seen ghosted rocks on planet sides for a couple of patches. I remember Mass and I were checking them out one day, and literally huge Quantanium rocks, and you could just walk right through them. 13,600. That's a heck of a nice cluster there. Let's go ahead and see if we can get them. We'll approach these guys here. But yeah, those ghost rocks are something we've definitely seen before. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about your phone. Got my first unicorn yesterday, Sunseeker 32 SEU, son, or were you 96 in the mall? If either way, always a great feeling when that first time you get the full 32 SEU of Quantanium back to the hopper. Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's really awesome, son. Good job. So, sorry, don't even worry about it. 26 likes already, you guys. Heck, we just jumped on here. You guys are being great to me, and I really do appreciate that. I really had been hoping to be playing a little more, quite honestly. It's not that stable, it's not that great of an experience. Yeah, they are doing it on Lyria, but if you shoot them, oh, interesting. So they're ghost rocks, but if you give them a 32 SEU of the good stuff. Good job, son. So if you shoot the ghosted rocks, they're coming back. That's very interesting. I forget, I know we pinned that down to some kind of there was one of the replication layers or something when they get sideways, I think is what we had decided, right? Wasn't it replication layers we were talking about when they were having problems? I found that there are huge clusters of Quantanium, even in those showing up. What? Mabutu, are you telling me that you've seen Quantanium in 5100 RF signatures? I still haven't. No, I take that back. I did one time. I did find it was 5100 RF signature value. It was 3 rocks, and it was Quantanium. And I just kept looking for the hidden 4th rock when it wasn't there. I was rock mining on Magda. Macedon. That's what Griff says. All right, so we're continuing on here. We have found Quantanium twice, and both times it was unscannable here in the old PTU. 17 hundos a single rock. What we got there? Oh, another 13.6. Another solid batch of Quantanium there. We'll move towards it. Indigo Blaze says, next rock you spit, please go into details about how you position them all so the lasers are in a good place. Now I just so I am in the prospector, but I will definitely show you how I position. I've seen as many as 10 asteroids that were on Mobutu. I definitely have seen very big, large clusters. Crouch says, Crouch, by the way, I'm so happy you're here, man. It's nice to see you, dude. I've also had luck with the ghosted rocks by landing next to them, running through them, getting back in the ship, flying a short distance away and coming back 70. Oh, that's a very interesting fix as well. So it sounds to me like kind of interacting with them, and then kind of maybe getting them out at a draw distance, and then maybe and kind of making the server kind of reinitialize them, I think is what Crouch is saying there. And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, so I wonder the next time I know that these rocks are solid, the ones that you know, I know that the rocks are solid because, oh boy, because I get hit markers on them. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm on the wrong side of the sun to get a good visual here. That is not Quantanium. Not Quant. All right, we'll keep moving. All right, so back to the 90 scans here. Yeah, definitely good advice on the ghosted rocks. That's something that I have not, since 3.18 has gone live, I have pretty much, because it was the quote-unquote piracy patch. Hey, Astro, by the way, nice to see you. You lift your ship above the boulder, so you keep it around 79. Yes, that's definitely right. If we're talking about positioning from the mole center laser, you know, somewhere between 65 to 80 meters, and you want to be above it, but have it be right at your 12 o'clock. Astro's not wrong about that. So if we are talking about kind of mole positioning, and you know, and it takes a little bit. I mean, once you do it a few times, though, it doesn't take too long. You'll definitely will get it. No, that's the point. Thank you, Anderson. That's the point I was going to mention to you guys. Since 3.18 went live, of course, the servers have been a mess. They're not working right. And that's, you know me, I'm a glasses half full guy, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. I mean, it's been a hot garbage, you know, the way things have worked. You know, but, and because it's quote unquote the piracy patch, I definitely was kind of avoiding Lyria a little bit for mining. But I do know that because the servers are so sketchy, that I think it's definitely kind of put a dampening as much on the piracy as it has on the mining. So I mean, you know, if there's any, yeah, that's Quantanium there for sure.
Fracturing mode.
And once again, I've got no scans on them at all, you guys. So all right, so we're gonna do a couple of different things here. So definitely got no scans. I am gonna turn off my power. Let's go ahead and do that.
Mining mode off. Shield off.
All right, we'll go ahead and just kind of, let me get out of my seat. Ah, JT, what kind of shorts exactly? Daisy Dukes, Argos, khakis? You know? Come on, man. You know what kind of shorts? Space shorts, man. You know, the kind you wear in space. You know? No, I'm just... It's funny. I will tell you guys, I only planned on doing, like, you know, I never dreamed when I started mining. You guys know this about me. I never dreamed that I would have anybody ever watch me do any mining in Star Citizen. So I just was doing some shorts one day, just messing around, and I did not think this thing through. I did not come out with the my marketing team has failed me. So, which is me, by the way. Yeah, that did not fix it. So all right, so hold on. Let's go ahead and do the EVA trick and see how that goes, and then we'll go up. I might try and hit them, bump into them, shoot them, and then get away from them and come back. So we're gonna use some of Crouch's suggestions, but here in the Halo, to see if any of that stuff would work. Let's see. Stone Dog says, "What are you looking for when you zoom in?" I've never done that. Stone, I'm looking for the classic Quantanium color, like the striping on the rocks. You know, Quantanium's got very distinguished orange marks. Mighty Thimble, welcome to the channel. Nice to see you. Last time I tried everything was scannable except Quantanium. That's kind of what's happened to me so far tonight, Thimble. And I'm on the PTU. Oh, he owns the... Oh, JT. Oh, okay. That's funny. Ramon says, I'm hoping the 3.18.1 will fix a lot of that. Well, I'm on 3.18.1, Ramon, so I don't know. I know what you're saying. Danzig, nice. Good. Yeah, I'm a man of the 80s, and I enjoyed Danzig's music. I tried all day and only got 3 loads of quant and an innumerable amount of unscannables. Yeah, that's kind of seems to be... I like JT is totally fine. You're welcome to... No worries whatsoever, sir. Please joke around all you want. I've only got a couple of feelings left, and and they're really hard to hurt. So, you know. Scatto, how you doing, man? Nice to see you, Scat. Best mining teacher I know. Thank you, son. That's very kind of you. And you guys know, the thing is, I enjoy mining. You know. Yeah, man, Danzig is sweet. I actually caught you know, a Danzig fan might appreciate this. At Riot Fest in Chicago a couple of years ago, I caught oh, I forget who it was, but it was great. It was kind of like, it was a really cool like punk show. It was really, really good. All right, so let's go ahead here. So let me first of all show you what I'm looking at, right? Just because the question became,
Mining mode off.
what exactly am I looking at when I'm doing a visual? So it's an excellent question. If you see, look at, there's orange striping in this thing. That's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for because Quantanium's got this look to it, the orange look to it. So a lot of times I'm a pro. Yeah, yeah, man, it was the Misfits, brother. It was. They were fantastic. They were so, like, that show was so good, Danzig. I was floored. Do you know who else just killed it that night? Was Ween. Ween, I was good. Like, I almost left my family and went on Ween tour. They were so good that night. Oh, my stars. I never knew Ween could throw down like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am a Ween fan. You know, I mean, it's hard not to be, but man, did they throw down. Ween did. But yeah, the Misfits were unbelievable that night. You know, it's like they had way more energy than bands a quarter of their age. Let's just leave it at that. They were awesome. It was fantastic. I've still been able to see some of that money on Bexelite, Terranite, Borace, but that's harder to find in Quant. Yeah, you're right, Thimble. It is harder to find, but there's nothing wrong with mining Bexelite, Terranite, Borace. Borace in particular will have pretty weird concentrates. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and we're going to shoot these rocks. Notice I am getting hit markers. I'm going to bump into this guy a little bit. I'm just going to kind of, I don't want to blow myself up. I'm just kind of curious. Okay, so I definitely have, there's definitely a hit marker there. All right, now I'm going to back away a long ways away. This is what Krauts was talking about. Now, I know he was talking about doing it more on the Lyria side. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to back away a few. And just kind of keep them out there. Emil, welcome to the channel. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Very nice to see you. All right, so what is this blue ball thing? What am I? What the hell is that? Guys, what am I? Anyways, it's. I think I was able to reproduce that when I'm backing up. Oh, that's the funniest heck. All right, so we're moving forward here. I'm trying to make these unscannable rocks scannable just by trying to, you know, monkey around with it. Dev response recently to Ghost Rocks. It's a complicated problem they're working on, but no fix. I really hope in 3.19 with the total re-architecture of mining that they fix that problem. I really do hope they do. It's just one that I just hope that they are able to knock out of the way. Let's see. I even tried to EVA to the rock and didn't help. Yeah, Danzig. It does. I've noticed that's just less likely to work than it had been in the past. Nuff. Welcome to the channel. Scatto says dev response recently to Ghost. Oh yeah, that's right. You know, but I do hope that they fix those. Nuff says Lyria is a bit easy. Anything more than 3,400 is definitely Quant on Lyria. Yes, well, anything more than 2 rocks on. Yes, you're absolutely right. If it's more than, that's enough. It's been like that for the longest time. If it's more than 1 rock on Lyria, it's always Quantanium, which of course, you know, it's a very, very easy meta to locate Quantanium. You know, but like I said, with 3.18 being the piracy patch, I thought I would definitely hang out in Halo more. Not that it's actually doing anything for me. Best is just to move fast and don't look back. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. For sure. I just thought I would monkey around with these a little bit to see if there's... Traditionally, there's never been any kind of a way to get these guys to behave or whatever, but you know, I thought we'd give it a try. Just make our life harder. Yeah, exactly, Nuff. I hear what you're saying. That's really funny. All right, well. All right, moving on. You know, can't spend all night monkeying around with those. I was wondering if there would be some way to kind of kick them or get them to go, but nothing happening there. All right, there's a couple of buttes right there. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a... Okay, V out. Sometimes you can V out, shoot your guns, and then you'll get a long scan for sure. 318 introduced the the 30,000s. Yeah, I mean, no question about it. Power off. Oh no, you guys. Oh, I just dodged those things. I was looking over. That's so funny. Oh, it's because I turned on I didn't realize I'd hit C. That's really funny. All right, hold on. There's another one of those blue things. Oh, now that's 3 rocks right there too. From prospector perspective, I like Aaron Halo. There's some upside to the Aaron Halo as far as the prospector goes. You're never going to run into rocks that are over, the arbitrary size that they have picked, and you're never going to lose rocks inside the geometry, that type of thing. So I mean, there's no question that the different areas, both of them have their, kind of have their pluses and minuses. Nuff says, the irony, when looking for quant, I bet salvage points in the vulture. Well, that's exactly right. Whenever I'm in the vulture, I find lots of quant. That's scannable. Whenever I'm in, I usually can find some vice versa too. That always happens. Anyways, sucks in a huge cluster that go to waste. Yeah, it's I've driven away from clusters before, and it won't be the last time I drive away from them for sure. All right, that's definitely not Quantanium. And it was 3 rocks. I probably should have known better, but we're just monkeying around tonight, you guys. Really, tonight, like I said, the server has been so... I thought, well, let's just go look at 3.18.1 and see if anything's better happening there. And so far, it seems about the same. The blue dot, I believe, is the center of your ping. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I've just never seen it quite so animated, Brandon. I think that's what's funny about it. Nuff says, 100% rock hidden in the battle. Yeah. Well, I definitely break rocks a lot on Lyria and lose part of them under the geometry. Listen, I'm not knocking Lyria mining at all. I love Lyria mining. As Mass would attest to, we've done massive amounts of Lyria mining, and there's no question if you're doing an organizational operation, I truly believe that Lyria is really where you should be doing that. That being said, there's upsides and downsides. The Aaron Halo has anonymity. You're never going to find a rock over 50, the arbitrary size, 5133 or whatever it is, 5233 or, and you're also, not going to lose any rocks, but you're going to have lots of unscannables, that type of thing. So I knew they need lasers and modules for you definitely need the Lancet MH2s for, you can mix and match if you have different people on there, but nothing wrong with going with Lancets. Now, if I have 3 people on them, a lot of times I'll have at least one person on with a impact, because that actually goes through the green faster. So 2 Brants can really kind of offset the cost. Yeah, that's not Quantanium. Can offset the instability. Two Lancet MH2s offset the instability, and then the one impact will make it go through the optimal window. They'll cut through the green a lot faster that way. Group mining is the best on Lyria. We've done a ton of quant there. Yeah, as a matter of fact, one night, Mass will recall this, I think it was a little over 2 hours collectively as an org. We did slightly over 500 SU. Now, don't get me wrong, it was an incredible night. We didn't always have nights like that, but one night we did over 500 SU in a couple hours. So no question that you can just kill it on Lyria if you know what you're doing. Really looking forward to 3.19 and tractor beam changes. Crouch, I can't, swapping components in the field is going to be amazing. I couldn't agree more, especially when they're talking about how they're going to specialize with mining. So let's say you happen to have kind of like your let's just say it's still like the meta remains the same. And what Crouch is saying is absolutely true. The meta remains the same, right? And it's a Lancet and Brants for whatever reason. But let's say you happen to find iron, and that takes an impact and, a rigor or whatever is the meta for that. To be able to swap those things on the fly is so cool. I love that idea. The other thing is, like if you're in Pyro and you want to go ahead and put your short range drive on for short range jumping, but then switch to your long range drive. Oh my gosh, you know what I mean? just having options like that is incredible. Being able to kind of min-max your stuff. Now, the one thing I did have another thought too, which is careful what we wish for when it comes to that component swapping. Because when CIG touches things, and they can't help it. That's not CIG's fault. It's just programming in general. But when you touch something, you break them. So a lot of us are used to like not having to mess with our stuff too much. You know what I mean? Like it just, the ship just kind of works, even though like lots of stuff doesn't work. So the minute that they start, as well as I do, it's going to be like, why? Oh no, I took this component out and now this other one won't attach or whatever, We're going to have a lot of that, but that's just, those are just the things that we have to deal with along the path anyway. So it wasn't like that was going to change. Not a rumor. This is true. We just don't know to the extent.
Fracturing mode on.
Wow, some Q-types that are scannable, you guys. Here we go. That doesn't necessarily mean there's anything here to mine, but I mean, this is the first time we've seen some. God, yes. Been able to change components would be great. Yeah. Well, and just being able to be able to specialize or, I just think is awesome. Because there's no question that if you are solo, there's nothing wrong with having a branch or two. You know what I mean? But you might all of a sudden find that big rock that you want to try to put the Surge and the Stampede on. Vulture and Prospector should always run as a pair. Not a bad idea at all, JS. I think that first rock was kind of crummy. This rock's not going to be any better. This is also going to be a blue cap. 2%er, 4%er, but yeah. Obviously, we're not messing around with that. But hey, I mean, at least we found some scannable Quantanium, so we'll take that. Life's a garden, dig it. I like it. Life's done dancing. Coop is such a fun way. Oh, co-op is such a coop. Coop's a fun way. Co-op's even funner. Co-op's a fun way of nerfing things. Nerfing Sons of Fortune. I'm new to this game, and that early grind of working together to earn money is fun. It's a lot of fun. The funnest times that I've had in this game are when you just have a few people together and and you all just kind of collectively laugh at the same shenanigans, right? I mean, that's what makes Star Citizen great. Haven't Aaron Halo mined a lot. I meant, what does blue cap mean? Funny, Daniel. So when I was growing up, when Mom sent me to the store to pick up milk, the 2% milk was always the blue cap. So that's how colloquially I refer to 2%ers, Quantanium rocks as blue caps. That's kind of that is definitely an insider joke on the old on the old Space Shorts channel for sure. So it just means it's a 2%er. Nothing special. We have a few different things that we say here that are kind of unique to the channel. We call like full 32 SEUs, the unicorns, 2%ers or blue caps. There's a few of those around that you'll only pick up here, and they don't really mean anything to anybody else in the community. At least Mineable Quant is still out there. Stone, you're not wrong. That's for sure. I'm gonna add blue cap to my lexicon. Yeah, man, 2%ers or blue caps. You see lots of 2%ers, so that's always the joke. I love red cap. Listen, man, there's nothing wrong with a little Vit D. I hear you there, sir. My family's always like, gross. How do you like it? It's like, man, I just think it tastes creamy. That's why. But we don't do a whole lot of we definitely don't do a whole lot of a red cap around here, but I wish we did. Hundo, there's another one. Yep, Hundos. That's so cute. We love those memories that we incorporate into our current lives. I know. It is kind of one of those things, I just think, like I said, colloquially, it's a word I'm really trying to learn how to say correctly. It is kind of fun to just kind of, kind of remember stuff and kind of, hey, Mr. Electricity, man, it has been a hot minute. How have you been, dude? Nice to see you. Andreas, look at you, Andreas. What are you up to? Haven't found a single scannable quant rock in a week. Oh my stars, Andreas. Now I've done a little better than that, but I'm not going to say that I'm knocking it out of the park or anything. Astro Geomancer. We use the Nick the milk contains and get 25 cents to buy popsicles for 5. That's exactly right. I love memories just like that. And we used to do the same thing. I mean, like little things like that. I remember as a broke college student, for instance, stealing pizza boxes out of the dumpster, because if you collected 10 box tops, you could get a free pizza. Which, that was us. We were free pizza mode. I heard blue cap and thought about blue chip. Yeah, that's Stan Powell, welcome to the channel. How are you, sir? Out quant hunting out Lyria, meh. Saw you were live and thought I'd say hello and hello to everyone. Hey, Stan, it's nice to see you, sir. Andreas, I hear you, man, for sure. Been through a divorce. What changed in my... Oh, electricity. You know what, sir? I know where you're at. I've been through one of those myself. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. What changed in mining in the latest patch? Well, I think probably the biggest change is going to be in the scanning mechanics, in the sense that all of it's contained in the V-scan. A lot of it's going to be fairly similar to what you recall. But there's definitely some changes. But the biggest are probably more scanning changes than actual, the meta is still the Lancet and the Brance. That's been the meta for a long time. Lyria still anything more than 2 rocks is Quantanium. The Halo still kind of got unscannable rocks. There's a lot of the things that are still the same. Rumi, how are you? 07V, hope you're... Snagger Dagger, dude. Nicely done, Rumi. That's so funny. My grandchildren, they always get the dagger dudes. That's so funny, Ruby, that you remembered that. How do you properly V-scan as a left click? So yeah, we can talk about the scanning mechanics, you guys. So yeah, so first of all, I have I will show you. I hope I'll do a good job at showing you. Here in the options in key bindings, if we go to keyboard and mouse advanced customization, and we take a look at flight, I think it's radar. Look, I have my ping angle set to left alt mouse wheel up and left alt mouse wheel down, and my active ping to my side button on my mouse. So I can really, with just by holding the left alt, I can control ping angle and ping. And let's talk about that a little bit. So let me just go back. So return to game. You can see on the left-hand side of the UI, when I'm in V-scan mode, right? If you can see the big red number, it's right over. It's on this side over here. It's field of view. You want to make sure that when you first of all you hit V, it puts you in scan mode, right? Then I hold down Alt and just roll forward to a 90-degree scan, and I just send out a ping, and that will give you your opportunity markers. Now, what are opportunity markers? They're the boxes, right? And then I just hold down and I mouse wheel up and close my field of view to 2. Then when you ping, you'll get the diamond icons, right? Which is those. And then I push, like hover your mouse over that. If you push and hold, left click and hold, that's considered, I call it a long scan. I don't know that it's just, I'm scanning it. And it should actually give you some scan results over here, but it doesn't. So... but when it does work, it's awesome, because you don't even have to approach anything in the air in Halo. Oh, that's some Quantanium there, by the way. And scannable Quantanium. But you don't have to, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you don't always have to approach the rocks if the server is behaving correctly. This is going to be a blue cap here for sure, you guys. And I can tell just by the overcharge in the green window. This is a 2%er. That is a blue cap for sure. And what about this guy here? This is a 5122. This is the max arbitrary size, also a blue cap. But you can see the 5122. That's the biggest rock you're going to find for whatever reason. That's the biggest rock you're going to find in space and stars. So this is, right now, it's arbitrary size. So, all right, so let me try major torque and balance. What's I bumped into a rock. It was trying to get it to behave or whatever, and it didn't work. So I think that's where that comes from. On Milk, they need to call the Inscannables lost children. There's a lot. They would be. There's no question that they should put Quantanium on the milk boxes. That actually would be a really funny. That's actually a really funny idea. That would be a great meme. 318 patch and then lost and show like Quantanium, on the milk. Crouch, I know that's in your wheelhouse, man. I know that's something you can pull off. That's so funny. What are the signatures? Oh, right here's your signature value, right? See this number over here? So that's factors of 7. So when you ping, when I collapse when you get a ping, right? Oh, you know, and you collapse your scan angle and you hover, you then get a signature value. 1700 is a single rock. So rocks are in factors of 1700. So that's why these 2 rocks over here were 3400. So I approach anything that's more than Tammy Hammy Ham. Nice Tammy for sure. Danzig's laughing. Seville, welcome to the channel, Seville Natus. Nice to see you. I've been having real trouble finding quantum rocks in a timely manner lately. Seville, you're not the only one. I mean, you know, pretty darn good at locating rocks, and the servers are just not being friendly. I think salvage is in groups of 2,000. That's exactly right. If it's salvage, it's a flat 2,000. So if you see like 10,000 flat, that's like 5 pieces of salvage. If you see 5,100, that's 3 rocks. So that's, you know, so rocks are in factors of 1,700. You know, and salvage are in factors of 2,000. If it's gonna be that little scrap stuff, of course, this is gonna be a blue cap as well. Of course, you're gonna have the you know, the derelicts are gonna be much different. Marius Amundison, have I tried mining Illyria? Many times, Marius. This is a blue cap here. Not since 318 has gone live, but you know, I've a million times I've gone mining on Illyria, and it's, you know, it's very enjoyable. Casey, how have you been? Marius, by the way, welcome to the channel. Not a name I recognize. I always do like to shout out new folks when I see them, and I see a lot of new faces tonight. Seville and Brandon. Casey, good luck. How have you been, Casey? It's nice to see you. Now, here's an opportunity that we have where we can actually shoot the rock, right? It's not giving us any... It wasn't giving us any scan results, but now it will because we shot it. And that is a 31%er. Hey, that's a mineable rock, you guys. So we finally found something. Rock mining, those nodes are in increments of 620. Yep, that's another excellent place where our signature value 620, you know, your 1240, 1680, you know, 1860, pardon me. Those are, you know, that's exactly right. Gaming Tribunal 319 will possibly piracy to us miners with removable saddlebags. Oh, you know, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that, Gaming, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, and of course, someday if it is a big deal, I'll eat my, you know, but you know, I don't know that it's going to make it that much worse on us. It's been a while since I've been on a stream. That's awesome, Brandon. Thank you for stopping in and hanging out with us tonight. Sorry, my typing's horrific. Indigo, don't even worry about it. You want to hear what's terrible is me trying to keep up with all of you guys and kind of manage everything in the stream. Let's see, don't forget the next time you get an unscannable power down and power back up, would love to see that work. I will definitely try that here. What is the max distance for a long scan to work? 12,200 is the longest I've ever gotten one to work, Indigo. Does the rock fit in the 400i? That's an excellent question. I don't think it does. I think, remember when the 400i first came out, it did not, and then I think they did some kind of a deal where they fixed it so it did go in there, but it messed up other things, so they rolled it back. That's how I remember that, Stan. Does anybody else remember it that way? 07318 one team, anybody? Doe, not really. It's about the same place as pardon me. It's about the same place as 318 so far. What's a miner going to do with saddlebags full of Quantanium when they have 7 minutes? That's exactly right, Seville. I mean, you know, I might just be like, sure, take the bags. With a big evil grin on my face. That's a really excellent point, Seville. It's like, yeah, sure, you can have them. They're ready. They're ready for you right now. Please take them. That's really funny. Does the Cuddy Black still in cap when you try getting into the pilot seat? I have heard that pilot seat stuff is better in 318.1. I've never had a pirate raid when in the air in Halo. Problem is they are lazy and they will wait near TV location. And that's one of the reasons enough why I've been kind of flying out of Arc L4. Not to say that they can't haunt there, but I figure that's pretty. It's an unusual refinery, and that's thanks to Andreas's a keen insight there. I got 4 rocks in the Corsair. Wow, that's awesome. Excited for on-site refinery with the Expanse. Casey, I could not agree more. There's 2 ships that I'm really excited about. The Expanse is one of them. The SRV, you guys, I'm also super stoked about. Could you imagine just cherry picking like these places like Port Olisar and pulling some of that salvage to just some space, some zero sector in space, and then just kind of having a, you know, just having just a junkyard that you basically, you know, that you pull that stuff to and then just rip it apart. I think that's going to be awesome. The SRV is going to be a game changer. Tractor beams in general are just going to be a game changer. They're going to be so much fun, you guys. I mean, we're going to have so much fun just messing around, messing with each other, messing around with them. They want the saddlebag of Quant. Reminds me of the crazy Ivan unit from Red Alert 2 Hero. That's exactly. Missing Quantanium age, indeterminate last seen air Halo. Yeah, exactly. Rock like appearance, orange yellow striations, habits, likes to hang out with other rocks. Nicely done, Ramoy. That's actually really funny. Oh my gosh, you know, it's like very low percentage there. Yeah, that's got enough. That's actually a good sign. This actually, you know, when the first couple you look at don't have much of anything in them. There's a hundo right there. That's a 16 SCU of the good stuff. Almost 17 SCU of the good stuff right there. This is probably going to be like a 30-40%er. An 8%er, okay. I want the Orion. I hear what you're saying, Mabutu. I do not disagree with that at all. I think that I'm really looking forward to that someday. This is going to be another hundo here. So that's good. So that's 10 SCU. That's 7. There's 27 SCU and some change there. So here, we'll knock out the change first. And one serious change in mining, you guys, is how, and I've mentioned it a million times, but is how much less power you need on secondary break than you used to. Widow, how are you? How have you been? Nice to see you. So you need a lot less power than you used to on secondary breaks. You know, and so you really do want to be careful with secondary breaks. They can get out of whack in a hurry. How's the PTU mining? Did they fix the unscannable problem? No, they didn't fix it yet, Widow. It's still pretty grumpy. 4.0s. No, 4.0s. No, nope. The Orion's a long ways away, Astro. Long ways away. My Kraken will be my mining and salvage hub for the org. That is awesome, Chris. Won't that be a blast someday? I wonder how they're going to do mining with the Orion. Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it really is. I wonder the same thing. I also noticed that sometimes you clean break stuff and it's, oh man, hey, it's... Now, I will fire, because of this 2.5 instability and because I'm talking to you guys, I'm just going to fire a brand to keep myself from blowing myself up too much. All right, hold on. Let's just kind of get this guy in a... There we go, right around there. All right. Oh, I fell out because I was looking over. Hold on. There it comes back in. Good. Even the primary is a bit lower. Yep. I want to go band and travel. I missed that one, Indigo. I want to be able to do first break on a rock and then load fragments. Oh yeah, take it around. Now that's another idea. Interesting idea. You know, do first break and then, you know, kind of haul them away to a location where you, like a processing place. That's a very interesting thought. I don't mind that idea. Once you charge 100% to the green zone, you have the power levels. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little more touchy than it used to be, for sure. I have better got sick out of the blue, so I'm fighting that right now. Sorry to hear that, Dark. You know, I understand. I mean, it's going around for sure. That was in the roadmap at one time. I might have missed what you were talking about there, Astro. And if I did, I apologize. They will implement way bigger unscannable rocks for the Orion. Dancing. I see what you're doing there. That's so funny. Yes, they'll have much larger unscannable rocks. That's part of the rollout with the Orion. That's funny, actually. So yeah, this isn't a bad run here. This is going to end up being 27 SCU, 27 and some change. will depend on how cleanly this 8% breaks out of this rock here. Well, this is... Or out of the other rock I broke. All right, you guys. So, well, it took a little while to find something, you know, but, you know, and I remember, quite honestly, you know, there was a couple of, first of all, 316.1, if you ask me, was the golden age of mining. That's when, like, there was months, like, that from that, like, middle of January to when they put on 316.1 till, you know, till Invictus, things were really stable. How do you check rep? That's a good question. Here's how you check rep. You hit F1, you come over here to the Delphi, and here's the organ. So notice I don't have any because I just started, but that's how you do it. You come over here to hit F1 and go there. Zodiac. Hey, Ocean, sips coffee, long time no see. How are you doing, man? Nice to see you. The Halo's been okay. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of rocks that weren't. I found a cluster and a couple of doublers that were not scannable until I found this one. So, bigger the rock, the less the money. Exclusive to the Orion. Yeah, 316 was really 316.1. That was kind of the golden age of mining for. I used to be able to go to I could sometimes get 3 runs back and forth to the Halo. Like I literally would come out of Quantum, like, you know, find something within 5 minutes and be back at the ranch. Like I was making money hand over fist. It's definitely not like that anymore. I mean, I would say that they have slowed Quantanium down a little bit. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, you know, but that being said, I think it's a little bit more in line with where salvage is at. Although I still think that you can get lucky. Mining is one of those things where in 18 minutes you can be back at the ranch with you know, with 270,000 worth. How are the rocks not scannable? Well, Sleeping Serpent, great question. They just won't allow you to actually get any scan results. They just act like they're not allowing you in any way to mine them. You know, you can see clearly that they're Quantanium rocks because they have the orange striations in them. But they're just, you know, they're not allowing you to in any way, shape or form to mine them or scan them or look, you know, do anything with them. So, and that's a well-known issue. That's been around the Halo for a hot minute, for sure. You only have 30 seconds to get back with the 10 KSE with the Orion. Oh, boy. All right, so where we go. There's another hundo. We'll pull that guy in. You only have 30 seconds to get back with the... That's so funny. If you see Quantanium, do not approach, likely turn into unscannable. Yeah. Please contact your nearest prospector miner. All right, I'll start picking up the junk now. There's a couple left. I saw one of those vids of 1 million per hour. Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely have had... I have had some, you know, really made some great money Quantanium mining before. Oh, there's a 20%er. We're just picking up junk at this point. This will probably top us off. We are north 20, almost 28 SCU, so we're not gonna. It's not bad, you know. We'll go ahead and spool the quantum drive. I'll go back to Styx here, and we will head into ArcL4. How's my day been, Widow? Today was a great day. It was a nice day. I spent some time with my 91-year-old grandfather. I worked today. My 91-year-old grandfather is up and visiting my parents' house. You know, spending some time with my sisters and I. And I hope that I have half his faculties. He was a tool maker, a really bright guy, and just a wealth of information and so much fun to hang out with. So I spent some time with him today, spent some time working. Can't wait till you can swap out your mining modules with tractor beam 7. We're in the same, you and I feel the same way about that for sure. Scanning looked much more reliable back then. Well, there still were unscannable rocks in the Halo back then. You know, I don't want to paint that kind of a picture. Hey, Danzig just found a 35% or 34.2. Nice, that's awesome. No litter today. Chris, hey here. Brandon Snyder says, I look forward to the economy refactor so Quant is no longer the only meta. You know, I agree. I think that some of the more exciting things will be when they get trade, and they get kind of missions like when cargo hauling becomes more faction based, and you can actually kind of start out with delivery missions and then maybe go to small SCU missions like around 20 some SU, 25 SCU, build your way up to say 50 SCU. Oh, Mabutu says, love seeing you, buddy. I am being called to the verse. Have fun. Mabutu, no problem, sir. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And always good to see you. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Indigo Blade says, I am bad. I litter in SCU. Not real life. Yeah, I don't litter in real life either, but I definitely drop a bottle or two. But Chris is always there to remind me that tease me a little bit and remind me that I did it. So that's kind of a running joke between Chris and I, is that he always catches me littering. And so that's definitely a thing. All right, so we're just kind of cruising along here, heading back to the ranch. And we're going to try and get this stuff in the hopper here and see how we do. Mining is nice and chill, but I'm a trucker by trade, and I want to be... Nice! Well, Brandon, I can appreciate that. Enough, I hear you. I'm planning on buying the Taurus in probably a month. I adore the Constellation Taurus. First of all, I never did like the Connie series at all. But I really do recognize the unique balance of the Constellation Taurus. I say this a lot, 2 size 5, 2 size 4s, lots of hull HP, good size shields, actually a fairly healthy complement of missiles, 174 SCU. It's not an easy ship to just attack outright. It's one of those things where I agree with that 100%. Oh, that's weird. That's my next. Clear that route and set that right. Clear and set. All right, that's better. But I've recommended the Taurus for a long time as probably one of the best Quantanium haulers in the game, just because it's got that. It doesn't have C2 levels of crying under your desk if for some reason something goes wrong. Dark Widow says, my Connie's a great ship. I was planning on buying a Freelancer Max, but my buddy says has an Andromeda. It's convinced me to buy the Taurus. So yeah, that's the thing, Brandon. Don't sleep on the Andromeda either. That's a hell of a gunboat with 96 SCU. It's not going to give you, of course, the 174 SCU is exactly why I have the Taurus. And it's exactly why somebody else should have the Taurus, I think, too. But, Constellation, or the Freelancer Max, a ship I love. It just says I'm hauling cargo. It just means I'm target. I'm a target. Like right now, the Raft, the Argo, well, the Raft not so much because the Raft doesn't actually cough it up, but it will eventually. Hey, Ninja Kapow! The Raft, the Hull A, the Freelancer Max, those just basically scream, like I'm a cargo hauler, right? And so in the age of piracy, but I just think that right now the Taurus is in a good spot. It's a defendable ship, and especially with the tractor beams coming, it can certainly, it's versatile. It can haul rocks. It's just really, it's got big guns. It's got plenty of missiles. It's got 174 SCU. It's just one of those ships. I think it's just, I think it's the right ship for the job. Now, nothing wrong with an MSR. Nothing wrong with an Andromeda as well. Those are two excellent Quantanium haulers as well. Taurus is a beast. The Merlin is a neat idea, but I rarely use it. I think that I love the snub, but it's not, I like the SCU more just based on the industrial gameplay that I do. I love when CC upgraded. I just got my Andromeda as a loaner. Like the Taurus better. Yeah, I can appreciate that. 96 SU and a ton of missiles. This is why. Yeah, the Andromeda is an awesome gunboat. It really is. The Andromeda is a tough nut, especially if you have people in the turrets. It does, yeah. It does. It will do. It'll put in work for sure. The big cat is always a place in my heart. Oh, I love the cat. But she is unwieldy. The Corsair is the Corsair I have a love-hate relationship with. You know, I want to love it, but, you know, like, man, you put that thing in Atmo, and it's like, oh, my goodness gracious. I don't know about that. I don't know about that guy in Atmo. That thing is... She flies like she looks in Atmo. All right, let's kind of bring this guy down. All right. We'll take it. Beautiful. All right. Now, first alarm we knew we had heard already, so we're no problem there. Let's go ahead and just kind of do our post. Beautiful. Kill the engines and back out. Drake rules. Yeah. I use my Cuddy to haul mine. Pledged both the Prospector and the Cuddy. Nothing wrong with one-to-ones in the and really, right, especially in the age of piracy. Cutlass Blacks, you know, whenever you can haul a full load of Prospector load of Quantanium in, it's 288,000. You know, there's nothing, whatever you're hauling that in with, it's okay. Now, there's no question that, you know, maybe hauling 3 or 4 loads in is cool. But, you know, definitely in this age that we're in now, the age of piracy, you know, C2 loads of, you know, I certainly don't recommend hauling big loads without, you know, escorts and all the little things. Now, you guys notice here, everything's in delivered. This is kind of that new thing. I think what they were trying to say is initializing ships was really causing an issue. So initializing ships was causing an issue, and so that's a big change that they did make in the PTU. Also, the blast for the Knives Tales event, yeah, for sure. Rented Cuddy and Prospector, good to start with. Yeah, that's a great 1-2 combination. Trigger, my Vulture is calling my name. Got a salvage. Hey, JS, I can appreciate that. No problem. Have yourself a lovely evening, and good luck to you. I hope that you find all the salvage you're looking for. The MSR really needs a redesign. I don't disagree with that, Evacati. I don't disagree with that at all. Especially the it would be nice to have an extra entrance that was in that, you know, that went right up in that middle kind of tunnel behind the cockpit. I think that more than anything could fix the. I would be happy with the MSR if they just did that one thing. The other thing is. You know what? I really do think that the you know, kind of the storage area is kind of a cool idea. I definitely wish there were different design, like different maybe have like a half dozen different looks that it is underneath the ship. You know what I mean? Where you could you know, not every one of them is the exact same way in the hidden area, but that's just my own thought. That's probably a lot to ask for. I'm just going to do a fair on exchange here. That quote confirmed. Cool. Get that guy popping. When I started, I didn't want to haul more than 1/3 of my net worth. Exactly. More than a C2, than a Constellation Taurus worth of, you know, of Quantanium at one time. Like, if you lose a C2's worth, you're just going to crawl under your desk and cry. Right? I love my MSR, but man, that run back to the cockpit. Yes, it does. And that's the thing. I really like the way of course, Crusader ships fly incredible. I really like their thrusters are second to none. But I agree. You know, getting in and out of the MSR all day long is... I'm going to pop into Resi 4. Got to get the President's Daughter to a safe place. Nice, Ramon. Nicely done. Time to hit the bed. Enough. Getting a bit. Hey, enough. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Please do like and sub. Okay, come back and chat with us some more. I enjoyed having you on tonight. The extra entrance is through the secret tunnel. Yeah, you're not wrong. There's Solo Reclaimer Life, Dark Widow. That and make the smuggling area on both the MSR and the Taurus scan proof. Yes, that back area, that's that far back area where the on the Taurus where the snub normally goes. I would love to see that get get that shielded cargo mechanic. That would be awesome. I agree with that 100%. What am I doing here? Get out of this? Oh, yeah. Got a little too close to the counter there, and I couldn't. All right. Yeah, the shielded cargo area I'm all about. I love that idea. Even if you could load, like, you know, 15, 20 SCU or Quantanium back there. I don't know how big that area is back there, but I hope, you know, I do hope one day that they do give you the shielded cargo like they talked about. Chris, you're not looking, are you? Oops. It just slipped out of my hand, Chris. What am I supposed to do? Andres, I don't mind the doors of the MSR. I mean, I have to go through them in a few days for class. That's all, yeah. Catch you later. Hey, Ramoyne, have a good night, sir. Thank you for dropping in. Brandon Schneider says, we filled the reclaimer and a C2, a nickname C Blue. Nice. Completely armed C. Nice. That must have been that must have been a very healthy haul for sure. All right, where are we at as far as well, that'll work. All right. Okay. Now the one thing I will tell you is they're still not working. I'll give them a try. I wasn't until you said something, Chris. Okay. That's so funny. If I'd have just kept my mouth shut, Chris, you'd have never caught me. You know. It's like these elevators are not working here. So I will just kind of do this. Which I don't like to do this. You guys know I don't like to do this, but it's the only way to get efficiently back up to the top right now. I do hope the Halo is more kind to you, V. I need to go lay down and fight whatever I caught. Widow, get some rest. Stay hydrated. And just, you know, take care of yourself. Take care of number one. I highly recommend, some good soup. And staying hydrated. I like flying the Reclaimer more than the Mole. Just wish it could dock at satellite stations instead of planets, maybe someday. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree with that. We were able to lock the doors on the MSR for a hot second at 312, thinking I missed that. Oh. Yeah, that would be pretty amazing. New PTU is still not working. Nah, it's pretty sketchy. I'm just trying to be as honest as possible. It definitely is not as good as I'd hoped, for sure. And especially the refinery, those refinery doors are not working on Arc L4. But there is a very, very good issue council. That's issue council to death. There's like about 20, and one of them's got quite a few votes on it, so they'll probably get to that one. I could have stored my armor. But it's just the PTU, and they'll wipe it tomorrow. If I would have lost it, it would have been fine. No problem. All right, we'll do a little bit of a pre-flight here. We're going to go back out for one more trip to the Halo, just to see if we're going to have any more luck or less luck than we already had. But we'll do one more trip out. Hey, no worries, for sure. All right, so cool. All right, I just wanted to double check that this guy had the stuff on it that I expected. It does, cool. And we will pull it and head right back out there one more time and take a look.
ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
See if we do any better. Plus, I'm really enjoying the conversations. And it's nice to see all of you tonight.
Stand by.
46 likes is awesome.
Your vehicle has
and
been delivered to the following
the mining it hasn't been great, but you know what? The conversation's been fantastic. So I love it. Vish, how are you? Nice to see you, Vish. How you been? Hey, what's good? I wonder if they fixed the hanger bug. I'm like, come on. Somebody was saying there are some hanger bugs hanging around in 3.18.1 earlier. In particular, it seems like they said one of them wasn't working at Hex. It seems like I recall. JT says, hey, Vish. Nice. Indigo Blade says, I sold all my extra mining modules today for the wipe. I always buy all. Yeah, well, that's exactly. I mean, I didn't even think about the fact that you can sell that stuff now. That's a really... Because Crouch had come on earlier and talked about making sure... And all of us should make sure that you obviously save your money. Don't go spending your money like crazy. Because that's going to persist, right? When they have this wipe, whatever money you have is you're going to have after the wipe. But any of your chip components, all that stuff is going to be gone. So if you do have if you're not going to be playing for a few days and you really think 3.18.1 is going to come out, there's absolutely nothing wrong with selling those components. I didn't even think about that.
You want
smart idea.
Lunch?
Brandon says there is a geometry bug where it collides into some invisible walls or something that will cause the ship spawn. There to instigate. I have heard that there's definitely some ghosting out there for sure. Do they have a patch date now? They don't, Andreas. Try and sell everything if you can. Excellent tip, Mass, for sure. JT says just hanging out with our friendly host. That's awesome. Thank you, Jay. Yes, I was surprised I could send them first trip. I bought a ton of modules. Yeah, that is crazy. Like I said, I never thought about that. But that is an awesome tip. And I probably will make a little video about that because I think that's a great tip. It's really not smart of Crouch, for mentioning to save the money. I had kind of lost on me about how that works as far as as far as being able to sell that stuff before the wipe, that's pretty cool. I wonder if undelivered refined ore work orders, they almost always do. What the heck? My guy looks sideways. Seville, yes, do not leave. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always a chance they won't wipe refinery jobs, but almost always they do. I've lost 7 or 8 refinery jobs. I've lost some when it's on the bubble and I just risk it. But I've definitely lost them many times when they go from 3 to .1 patches or .2 patches. So really, my suggestion would be do your cargo running, do your hauls before. Now is the greatest time not just sell stuff, but to set goals for what you want to do when the patch drops. You know what, Ryan? Ryan is exactly right. I heard someone say they were talking to Paul, the Astro Historian. And they said that planning is one of the biggest, most important gameplay loops in Star Citizen. And they're not wrong. Having a plan, having a thought about kind of what you're up to, because if you don't, man, you're gonna lose hours in time. I agree with what you're saying, Ryan, for sure. Having a kind of an idea, plan of what you want to do, it's a great idea. I better get my refined jobs picked up. Yeah, Seville, for sure. Prioritize them. Knock them out for sure. Don't. If you think 318.1's coming the next day, don't sleep on it. Get them sold. Danzig just got super rod. My 100% acted like they weren't broken, and exploded as purples. Yes, I've definitely seen where even the extraction mode versus the mining mode kind of get mixed up, and it looks like it's the extraction laser, but it's treating it like it's the mining laser, and it super pops your purples. So I've seen that lately too. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Brandon says I've seen that happen the other day. I've seen it too. If you're a solar reclaimer, either wear or have a helmet on in the backpack. It often warps you outside the ship. Yes, it does. You definitely do not want to wander around the reclaimer without a helmet on.
Quantum travel
For sure. Little Trucker Darkspear, how are you? It's been a hot minute. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. We don't know exactly when it's dropping. Archer, how have you been, brother? It's nice to see you. How's Portugal? 318 has been pretty rocky and live, and the PTU's pretty rocky too as well. So, it is what it is. I mean, I still managed to make a couple million Arch, but Archer, guys, is a very good miner in his own right. And somebody who's taught me a little bit about kind of remember Arch when you showed me the trick to kind of bumping big rocks out of the way with your prospector. That's awesome. Just think about that a lot, actually. It's nice to see you, dude. Indigo Bliss, multiple personality mining lasers after extracting or fracturing. Portugal's warm, huh? Well, I'll trade you. Michigan's cold, brother. Yes, sir. Thank you. Nice, Trucker. Trucker, it's nice to see you, dude. It's been a hot minute. Aocean says, gotta say that's just them testing the explosive decompression. You're probably not wrong there at all. So, all right. So here's some opportunity markers right off the bat. Let's go ahead and see what we got. That's a 1700. That's a single rock RS signature value. There's 3400. There's 2 rocks. Let's go ahead. And I sent out a ping and there's 4. So that's interesting. Yeah, you can see there's definitely are rocks in front of me, a few different ones. Let me go. I want to go a touch faster than I was. And I'll try to get a long scan on him by clicking and holding, but you can see, it's definitely doesn't like to do that. But sometimes shooting and then going back into the scan angle can help. But I'm not getting a type yet, so we'll just kind of put our foot on the gas and come in here and do a visual. Bulldozer prospector. Yeah, that's right. You know, and we'll be able to do that soon, man, with the SRV and pull our tractor beams maybe. Pull some of that trash out of the way, right? Howdy, neighbor. Ohio isn't that much warmer. Yeah. No, northern Michigan has been cold. All right, I don't think that's Quantanium. Let me approach a little closer. No, it's not. Not at all. All right, back to VScan. All right, and I've been kind of doing these on a 90 ping. All right, what do we got here? We got a 1700. That's a single rock. And 1700. That's a single rock. Funny enough, it's been chilly here in Texas. High of 52 today. Yeah, that is chilly. Even this time of year in Texas, I would imagine. That probably is pretty chilly. Brandon, what part of Texas are you from? You know, you don't have to get too crazy with it, but just kind of curious. Texas is a state my wife and I have looked at a couple times over the years, thinking that if things got crazy in the world, we might think about that neck of the woods. 3,400 right there. Cool. Ah, nice. Dallas Fort Worth. Gotcha. Seville Nada says, I hit my first ping today in the asteroid belt mining session right when you started this pass. We can race to the first round. Nice. All right, what do we got here? All right, there is 2 rocks right there. Just trying to see if I can. Would love to be, man. If they ever get that where you can consistently get these scans at an angle, it will be at a decent distance. They will really have got themselves in a good place. Let's see here. Born and raised, highly recommend. Avoid the cities, though. Yeah, I live in a rural part of northern Michigan as well, so yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mine and fly my ship controls, not mouse and keyboard. Does anyone else do that? In chat, do that if you so. Let's see. I mine and fly with my ship controls. Now, I use sticks, and then I mine with mouse and keyboard, but I use sticks when I fly. So that's how I do it as well. That is Quantanium right there, by the way.
Fracturing mode on.
But not a scannable rock. Oh, I think I have I turned it off. I had autopilot on. All right, so this guy's being silly. Let's go ahead and I'll EVA out. Let's see if we'll turn it into a scannable rock. If you fly a Vulture, the best way I found to prevent cargo grid glitch is to claim the ship. Yeah, you got to keep it fresh. That's exactly what Ryan's saying. If you claim it every time, then it does kind of keep it out of hot water with the cargo grid. To clarify, I meant HOTAS controls and some custom flight panels for DCS. Yeah, I have 2 VKB Gladiators. And then I have, I switch over to mouse and keyboard when I do mining. So I love flying with my sticks, and doing combat with my sticks, and all my flying I do with my sticks. But whenever I start mining or do FPS, I go back to mouse and keyboard. That's how I enjoy doing it. So been to Michigan a few times, don't remember much though when you're trying to drive 400 or 500 miles. Yeah, that's exactly right. I drove through the northern part of Texas on a cannonball run, Brandon. A buddy of mine, I actually had to go to LA and get fingerprinted, and I decided to go Route 66. And a buddy of mine was he's passed with cancer, but he was passing of cancer at the time. So I took I got to spend 4 or 5 days with him in the cars. We did a cannonball run, all of Route 66 through, I think we drove through Amarillo, on our way through from Michigan to LA, and that was just a wonderful drive. Great memory. Loved it. I have a control panel with a rotary dial. It controls the mining laser super precise as I bring in the green. There are lots and lots of different mechanical like crazy cool things. And actually Star Streams, you guys, I know is monkeying around with it. Yeah, man, it was a really good time, Brandon. I mean, it was it was one of those times where it's he was gonna pass, and it was time to make one of those memories. Route 66 was a lot of fun. The only thing I wish is I'd have had about 4 or 5 more days. I only had about 6 or 7 days that I could actually take, and so that was a heck of a drive from Michigan to LA and back in I think it was 6 or 7 days. Hey, Danzig, thank you for joining tonight. Have a good night, brother. Good stream. Thank you, sir. I hope that you come back and join us again. I really enjoyed your conversation tonight. So that was great. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun, and we had a Habanos Rancheros. So it was funny because on that trip we were having like in St. Louis we had barbecue. I had Habanos Rancheros in Amarillo. We had Relleno in LA. I mean, it was a man, the food on that trip was awesome. I kind of went all out. That was the one thing that, like I said, we were just making some memories and having a good time. And the desert at night was fantastic, by the way. Oh, the desert in the summer night was just unbelievable. Dad talk. Did they fix the game? Not yet, Dad. Not at all. I would say it's still got a ways to go. I use Buzzkiller's control schemes. What are those exactly, Evo? Are those actual hardware devices? Is that define fix dad talk? LOL. Yeah, that's exactly right. Define fix. Well stated, Brandon, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get any kind of no. All right, we'll approach these and get a visual on them and see what we have here. I'll pull out the mining laser. That'll always tell me right off the bat if they're not Quantanium. We'll move on. Indigo Blaze. Oh, wow, Route 66. I drove from LA to Georgia as part of a move. I enjoyed it. Lockheed company moving pit. Yeah, the Lockheed is a big company to work for. Indigo. How long did you work for them? That sounds like a decent job. Yeah, and I had some friends. It's so funny that you should mention it. I had some friends who moved from Savannah to Oregon, and they went. It seemed like they went through Texas on their way too. All right, so we're just pinging out here. I'm not getting any pings. I wonder if we're getting towards the old 30. Oh no, I have B-Win up there, a little bit of it anyways. All right, I was just curious. Nope, there's signature values. There we go. Buzzkiller is another player who publishes his key bindings for sticks. A lot of people use them. Yeah, that's a great tip as well. I definitely have some kind of a binding thing that somebody did for the VKBs, which I used as a base, but eventually kind of customized it myself so I could kind of build my muscle memories how I wanted to do it. What mining modules and head do you use for the Prospector? So, Dad, I'm actually out doing Quantanium. So I'm doing the Lancet MH1, and I've just got some Brants. I only just jumped on the PTU tonight, so yeah, Lancet and Brants it's pretty vanilla, but it's just that's just what I'm using right now. Yeah. Now, in a perfect world, if I have all the money in the world, and I would probably do something like I might do 2 VAU XC3s and a Rieger C3. Or I might do 2 Brants and an FLTR-XL. But, if as far as you can absolutely mine Quantanium all day long with a Lancet and 3 Brants, and there's nothing wrong with it. It works just fine. It's a very cheap, it's a very inexpensive setup. It's not a lot of thought into it, and that can make you all the money that you need to make. For sure. All right, let's slow down. What do we got here? The visual, and they're definitely not Quantanium, and I didn't think it was based on the spread of how far apart they were. Hey V, have you done much mole mining? Oh yeah, I've done tons of mole mining, you guys. And you know what? I feel bad because you guys have mostly seen me prospector mine. Like, I got kind of burned out with the end of 317. And I, just hadn't been around as much. I also had a lot of personal stuff going on, taking care of my dad, and my mom passed in September, taking care of my dad and doing some of that kind of stuff. So there will be a lot more mole content in the future for sure, because I love mole mining, it's a really great thing to do, so much fun. But I haven't done a lot of that lately. Brant is safer, but I never needed them. Oh, yeah, no question. Well, I'm also going to tell you, I use the Brants. Part of it is because it makes it easier when I'm talking to you guys, because I definitely can get myself over my skis in a hurry as I'm trying to kind of mine and chat, and somebody says something funny, and I start laughing, and then all of a sudden I don't have the Brant to lean on. Oh, that's all right. There's a couple Q types right there. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, no worries, brother. It's So yeah, the only reason I was even bringing it up is because now here's an opportunity, right? We know that it says Q type, so we know it will scan. But it's not giving us scan results. This is the time when you shoot the rock, right? If you shoot the rock, bam, one time, pull the laser back out. And you'll get your results after that. So that's a shoot the rock moment. This is going to be a blue cap here. But yeah, absolutely, I love the mole. I have tons and tons of time in the mole. Now, we normally use the moles in organizational operations as scoopers. This is also not going to be a good rock, like a 10%. Another blue cap, really. Yep, no problem there. Well, let's keep on moving. But we use the moles mostly for extraction. And would use prospector breaking teams. So we'd have two prospectors work together breaking the rocks, and then we'd send the mole in to scoop the rocks. Now that's something we're going to have to get away from now because, well, it depends if you can offset the instability nerf between two prospectors or not. And if you can't, then we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's the way that we did it in the past for sure. And yeah, I've done I just love the mole. The mole's a great ship. I really enjoy flying the mole. Processor mining lets you get a lot more zen. Mole mining feels like work, but yeah, I don't disagree with that. I do think that there's a little more, it's a little more straightforward, just prospector mining, solo, prospecting. But there's no question if you do hit pay dirt and you've got that mole, you've got that wiggle room. Hey, and I never begrudge anybody who's more ambitious than me when it comes to, because can especially think, there's definitely a couple of people who come to my channel who are they exclusively solo mole mine. They love it. You know what I mean? And I get that. I can understand why. With the mole solo, you don't need to worry about sorting. Yeah, you can just suck everything up too. That's a great point to go. So there's pluses and minuses in all of it. What is the recommended MH setup for a mole? I would still recommend. You don't need helixes. I mean, I would just use 3 Lancets, MH2s on there myself. That way, any person can independently handle any of the breaks, right? But that's you can always do like a Lancet and a Lancet, a Helix, and an Impact or whatever. We were a well-oiled quant machine back then. We were. We used to mine. We used to pull in lots and lots and lots of Quantanium. Oh my stars. And like I said, as 317 wore on and things were a little more felt a little more stale, and looking forward to 318, and look where we ended up, right? So careful what you wish for, right? Is cargo hauling viable this patch? It is viable. I don't necessarily T-type. I probably should have pulled that out a little sooner. I was kind of curious. It's viable for sure. I definitely think that there's money that can be made at it. It's always a risk. I mean, there's always a risk in it because you are kind of buying into it. Sandy Claus does a really good. Of course, if you watch Jack Axton, you're gonna watch anybody trade. I mean, just go watch Jack. He's like the Avenger 1 of cargo trading. But Sandy Claus also, he does a really great podcast kind of show called Bullish, where he talks about trade routes and does a great job. And I've had Sandy on my channel before. Great guy. Jag, cargo hauling can be if you find a good... Yeah, you just... Exactly. You got to hit on the good routes. Cargo hauling is still pretty dangerous. It can be dangerous. There's no question about it. There's... Especially now. Hey, Sunseeker says, good night, everyone. Great stream. Son, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming back and hanging out with us. I know that you... Hey, guys, everybody give Son a salute, by the way. Son got his first unicorn, which is a 32 SEU run. If all of you could just give Sunseeker a salute, I'll even... Let me drink my own Kool-Aid here. Son, this is for you, brother. Nice. Nicely done. First unicorn, something to be super proud of. I just want you to know, man, how proud I am of you for getting that first unicorn under your belt. It's always a great feeling to get a full pure load of Quantanium. Great money. Good for you, son. Thank you for Son always comes and is always so kind to the channel and talks about how the channel was so helpful for him getting comfortable. Space Shorts was great about giving you all the same details. Oh, heck. The one thing I will say, you guys, now don't get me wrong, I might land on a honey hole at some point and keep it to myself for the most part, but not too much. I mean, I just want everybody to have a good time and be successful at this game. And I absolutely love theory crafting industrial stuff. So it's an absolute pleasure for me to be able to interface with you guys. I am so proud of this community and how many people they've helped. And I will always do 100% my best to try and explain everything I can. And I'm really looking forward to 319. I'm going to do a super deep dive into all the new meta. I'm going to be just kind of all over that. I'm going to do a lot of content specific to the new mining stuff. So I'm really looking forward to the 319 mining updates. And, I'm definitely going to be on the front line doing what I can to make sure everybody kind of understands what's happening there. So, yeah, we're seeing this a lot here, right? So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and let me turn off my power. All right, let me spin the power back up. Let me put the mining laser away. Now turn off my power again. I'm just going to wiggle out of my seat. Eva, if that's a unicorn, what is a nine? Oh, well, that's a super uni. That's what those are called, Evo. They're called super unis. I've done 2 super unis in my day. 290. That's the most I've been able to do. 2 pure 100% pure mole 96 SCU Quantanium. I've done 2 of them, and I was so proud of both of them. Great to get in any refinery. Sick feeling to lose a uni in the game bugging out. I've done both. Yeah, Indigo, I had that happen the other day. I landed on a pad because I was scared that I wasn't going to get an elevator, and then the pad didn't. I got all the way down to the refinery, and it just said it wouldn't recognize that the ship was on the pad. Jaguar says, you are one of my favorite SC creators. Always super helpful. Thank you, Jag. I really do appreciate it. Oh my God, a mole uni. Yes, a super uni. I've done 2 super unis before. Really looking forward to the revamped UI in 319. Yeah, I like the revamped, I do. I like it as well. I like the fact that they have the, that they've put the laser intensity on the same side as the charge level. I think that makes a lot of sense, and so, yeah, I agree with that 100%. All right, let's go ahead and keep on keeping on. So we're in about the same, I'm not, I think I want to say overall tonight, this is about the same experience that I've been having in 318. It's around the same experience, you guys. It's not to say that you can't mine. I mean, you can. And just like today, I've been able to haul in 28 SCU, and then, I think it says that a couple hours into it. It's not fast, but it still is working. You're still able to make, potentially, if you get lucky and get both your loads, it's still $500,000 like in this game, if I was able to make $500,000 in a day, I'm not going to feel too bad about that. I mean, that's, now, there's still work to be done, don't get me wrong. You still have to kind of get through the refining jobs and get the stuff hauled in. But, you know, I mean, you know, even so, where we're at so far, I mean, it's been slow, but it's not, you know, it's not like you don't make any money at this. I keep having to use Reshade on Lyria to see my UI for mining. You know, Evo, a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen this, but you can get the yellow icons. That's probably this is a P-type, okay? And that's wearing the Arrow Gray Cat Armor helmet. You know, you can of course get yellow icons, and sometimes those can definitely help, especially for people that are colorblind, for sure. But I can appreciate having to use Reshade. I definitely can. And I've not messed with Reshade before myself. You know, like, I've thought about it, but I just haven't. Oh, here's 3. Like I said, 3 rocks is almost never Quantanium in the air in Halo, but we'll give them a flyby. All right. Not Quantanium. All right, we'll keep moving. Yeah, the yellow helps a lot. Yeah, that's my best advice, is if you're having a hard time, is to use the yellow icons from the Arrow Gray Cat set, for sure. I can't wait to get the Spirit. Oh, I think, Omega, what do you think? Do you think there's a chance that they may drop the C1 for Invictus? I would like to see that. What about the Fury, you guys? The Misk Fury. First of all, I love Misk ships. I'm a Misk fanboy. So I'm excited. I am excited that there's actually, you know, that I'm hoping that the Fury's a Misk light fighter. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's my hope. And are these in front of this big rock or behind it? I don't know. I think they must be behind it. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, they're right there. They are on the other side of that big rock. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Tell them how to get the helmet, the yellow icons. I can't remember the details. Oh, I think if you I think if we do exclamation point yellow, let's look. I think it's that one. It will. The yellow icons come from the Gray Cat. There you go. There's a video link to the video on how to get them. So I get asked that question so many times. It's one of those ones that I actually put into Nightbot or whatever. I like the Origin and Crusader ships, and I love the Cutlass Black, so I can't wait. Yeah. I am excited about the Misk Fury. I'm also excited. The C1 Spirit, I actually could see that becoming a daily for me. I think I just love the way that it looks. I haven't bought it yet, but it's definitely caught my eye. I really I think my favorite daily right now is probably the Medical Pisces. You know, I think that's a great little ship. I like the way Misk designs. Yeah, I do too. I definitely like Misk designs. Nice Nightbot to the rescue, exactly. All right. Not Quantanium. P-types. And I definitely could be doing this a little more efficiently. I'm just enjoying the conversation so much. Omega says Misk is growing on me. Yeah, I can appreciate that. Like I said, I'm definitely a Misk fanboy. They have made me so much money. But between the Prospector, you know, and flying, you know, just flying around with the Freelancer Max for the longest time. Though I will say Drake is growing. I mean, nothing wrong with Drake. The C8I is a great little ship, especially for bunker cave missions. I just like the fact that I have this stocked little ship that I could park just about anywhere. You know, it's just a great little ship. For box missions, that thing is just mint. The C8R is a blast. Yeah, it is. It's a great ship. I really like that ship. I like the fact that it's got a single jump seat in it, too. I mean, you know, they didn't completely get rid of all the jump seats. Yeah, it's just a good little guy. All right, what do we got here? That is definitely Quantanium. Ooh, and it's scannable, too. It has snacks. Yeah, it's exactly right. It has snacks. That's exactly right. I love it. All right. Yeah, I dig that. Got snacks. All right, here, hold on. I got to shoot this rock. Boom. There we go.
Fracturing mode on.
Juan Rodriguez, welcome to the channel. How are you? This is going to be a blue cap here, a 2%er. It's not in a great place, Juan. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's it's a lot of work. I think that's probably it's a little more tedious than it used to be. It's not to say that you absolutely can still make a tremendous amount of money with it. But it is definitely, you're definitely working a little harder than you used to be to get that. And because you're working around a lot of issues just around the stations and that kind of stuff. Evacati says that little ramp that you can just step off without having the physics screw up is underrated. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, any kind of ship that you can remember. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a time in the Pisces, every time, like at least for me, it was the expedition version. Every time I would get on or get off that thing, it would but mostly I would just step off that thing and it would explode. That was used to make me laugh so hard. I've never had that happen with the medical variant of it, but it's true that anything any kind of physicsy stuff that kind of tends to work okay is a good thing. I don't disagree with what you're saying, Evacati, at all. All right, there's a 3,400 there, and there's a great big 11,900 there. So we've got lots and lots and lots of rocks here to look at. Let's approach, and first thing I'll do is
On. Mining mode on.
all right. Here's those first two. That's a P-type. What about these guys? That's a P-type. All right, these are all P-types. No big deal. It's a nice P cluster. Let's see here. Seville says, I know 1700s are often Q rocks, and 3400s are most often Q rocks, but have you seen... No, 5100s are very, very rare. It's 5100... there will be lots of times, Seville, when you watch me stream, that I'll just bypass 5100s in general. I don't approach 1700s because it's not to say that they're not going to be Quantanium, because they very likely could be Quantanium. But if you approach every single rock, it's just not very efficient. So I normally will wait to approach doublers. 5100 is the one outlier that I will not approach very often for an RS signature value. So 1700 is a single rock, so I don't approach those. 3400s I do, 6800s I do. And anything that's a factor of 1700 above that. But 5100s I very often just don't even bother with, because out of the hundreds of 5100 RS signature values that I've looked at, or 3 rocks in the Halo, I've only seen one of them that was Quantanium. And I was flabbergasted when I seen it. Like I said, I was looking for a hidden rock. I was like, I don't believe this. Correcting to go. Nice. 6800 would be 4 rocks. Is this wrong? No, you're not wrong. 3400 times 2. That's exactly right. It's factors of 1700. There are some awesome little charts, right? So right there's 5100, right? Like I said, that's almost never Quantanium, so I won't even bother to go look. As an old miner, there's these little things you just kind of pick up. I totally agree. 1700, 1 rock, and anything about 5100, yeah. That's what I'm trying to do, is kind of at least maximize my odds. That's exactly right, Seville. All right, you guys. Today's been just a great stream. I've super enjoyed it. I'm not, like I said, I'm still out here mining, but I did not expect to have such a wonderful conversation tonight. It's been a blast. I've just had so much fun. And 318 has been just a hot mess. I mean, I was really hoping to be doing a lot more just kind of streaming, but it's like what I do, mining, which is, it's really not a super viable loop right now. It's not consistent. There's lots of, kind of hoping an elevator works, or having to commit suicide to get to a different part of the station, or, lots of little things like that have been I've been waiting for those types of things to settle down. So I'm one of those miners that mines just about anything. Don't make lots of money, but have plenty. You know what? I can appreciate that. And I always do say, Brandon, don't get me wrong. I mean, I Quantanium mine mostly because I think that's what people are the most interested in, because it's the most profitable. So I stream that a lot, but I always do say, and it's the truth of the matter, I became rich off of Agricium. Back in the day before refineries, Agricium was like my favorite thing to mine. I mined it all day long just because it was easy to find and mass in great percentages, and and you could just actually just clean up. High instability is a good indicator of higher. Yes, absolutely. Instability is definitely going to be one of the big tips that you can lean on as far as if you don't have anything else to go on. Crouch says watching the stream is making me miss my prospector. Playing on my starter account, so I'm out rock mining instead. That's awesome, though. And listen, rock mining is a super fun loop, I think, as well. Beautiful atmospherics and that type of thing. But I adore prospector mining. This is my favorite thing to do in Star Citizen. Is outside of to hang out with you guys and shenanigans, right? Because shenanigans are always the funnest. But no, this is my jam for sure. Josh, welcome to the channel. This is my first stream I can keep on while playing Star Citizen. Subscribing now. Josh, thank you very much. I totally appreciate that. That is awesome. Except those tricky borate strikes. Yeah, borate comes in pretty low concentrates, that's for sure. It's funny, lots of times when I'm doing Quantanium, there's it'll have the side item in it is borate for a few, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's not a bad thing at all. These are going to be Quantanium rocks.
Fracturing mode on.
It doesn't look like they're scannable.
Mode on.
Oh, they are scannable. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. See what we get. So we're approaching these. We're not getting any scannable rocks. It's no big deal. Okay, I only tried rock mining 2 or 3 times. I am super inefficient. Oh, but Indigo, it's just fun. I mean, that's the thing. It's just an enjoyable thing to do. That's the beauty of it. Oh, why am I?
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode.
Oh, that's cool. This is going to be a 2%er. All right. What about this guy here? This could be okay. 7%er. Nope. That's not going to work. So we'll keep on moving.
Mining mode off.
And like anything else, Indigo, I mean, you will get better. You just keep after it. I scoop any gems I find. I'm an equal opportunity gemologist. I can appreciate that for sure, Crouch. I think it's I can very much understand why people would just grab whatever. I stick to Hadanite pretty much, but any port in the storm, right? No, almost had a full rock and 30k. Hopefully it's safe. Oh yeah, I hear you. Hopefully that 30k protection did kick in. Kind of want to retry rock mining now that they fixed the tornado extraction. Oh yeah, Evo, you remember the extraction when it was just a hot mess? Yeah, that was one of the things that really kind of made rock mining very unbearable. Was that extraction bug? Haul my 400i, not the most efficient, but I just love the 400i is a great ship. Oh my god, I can appreciate that. Maybe Iron Jesus will be with you, Brandon. Yes. Yes. I love watch Star Streams. Rockmine 317. He is not crazy about 318 changes. Rock mining is a learned skill. And that's one of the things I really like about Star Citizen, is that we get good at things by doing them. I really will tell you, I don't have a lot of trepidation. I'm not going to oversell this or anything, but I do have a concern that someday there's going to be a stat. You know what I mean? And I don't get me wrong by me saying that. I don't have a workaround for it either. I don't have something in my mind, but I just love the fact that everybody's kind of on equal footing. It's just your skill or how much you've done it. Yes, and definitely Star is salty right now when it comes to, he's the Avenger 1 of rock mining, right? I mean, he is, he's the guy when it comes to rock mining, and he is definitely not super happy with where things are at, and it's been, and he's such an animated guy, and he's so much fun.
Fracturing mode on.
Crotch, I don't know if you caught that. Where Cap and Hannah and Star they tried to pirate me a couple of streams ago. It was so fun. I had a blast. They were teasing me,
Mining mode
And that was, I don't know. I just had a good time. Star's a good dude. He's a good dude. A really good human. One thing I will say, and Crouch, I mean, Crouch, obviously, we're blessed to have some really good human beings in this community. I mean, we really are. Some of the best just souls I've met, have been people in this game. I mean, I've just really had some. So I really do think that this game, for whatever reason, does attract some very nice human beings, and so we have been blessed. I mean, we've been really blessed. All right.
Mighty mode off.
I saw the pirate use as Indigo. That was funny. Oh, thank you very much, Indigo. That's very kind of you. I just collided with a rock waiting for the torque and balance to pop up. Yeah. Now, I've done that a million times where I go to hit M and I hit C, and just fly right into the rock. Oh, my stars, if I did that once. Draconis is normally around and he loves it when I crash into things. He always talks about he has nose prints on his monitor from getting really close to watch the explosions, which always makes me laugh.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode
All right,
on.
and they're right here. Yeah, that was really funny. I enjoyed that day. Stuck on 20, 30, 91 entities. Oh, player unstowed, engaged. Oh, workarounds. Yeah. What are the workarounds for that? That's a P-type. Okay. Stuck on 2391 entities after the 33. Player unstowed. Engage all workarounds. Well, that is a good question. I don't know that I've hit that 2391 before. I probably would more or less just maybe server cycle and just kind of cross my fingers. Now, I don't pull the ship if you server cycle. Maybe just server bounce to a different region and then go back into the region you were at before you start looking around at it. I'm going to head off. Brandon, thank you so much, man. I've really enjoyed our conversation tonight. I hope that you come back and we can hang out some more. And if you ever need, you ever want to mine or just hang out or whatever, look me up on Discord. I know that I do a lot of streaming, but I'm just a regular dude who likes to go mining and Star Citizen. So look me up, man. Just me. But I like how you and Stars are critical of SC when you need to be in a positive way. Also, you know what? I have really grown. It's so funny because I have really grown to appreciate. Well, I used to think Salty Mike or even Grumpy, maybe, their critical approach was a bridge too far. I've really learned, especially over this last year, that how much I appreciate Grumpy, hey, awesome Crouch, how much I appreciate Salty Mike, how much I do like that people have a critical eye, and I think that there's room for all of that conversation. And I definitely don't think it's healthy the White Knight, but I also do think that it's a situation where we've got we all want the game to be a certain way, so we've got to be able to kind of speak to it. But I also have this theory in life, Mastodon, thank you so much, sir. Have a lovely night. I hope to catch up with you soon. I just want to, Mass, you and I should do some hanging out sometime soon, buddy. I will look you up to make that happen. But I have this kind of theory about life. Yes, we'll definitely catch up soon, man.
Fracturing mode on.
I call it
Mining mode.
kind of, do you want to be a little more Pink Floyd or do you want to be a little more Van Halen? And I was a musician when I was younger, I play guitar since I was 8. And, when I was growing up, I made music more like Pink Floyd or Radiohead. And don't get me wrong, those are like some of my favorite bands. They make awesome music. But I realized that on a Saturday night, some people just want to forget their troubles, right? So I always I have always said to myself that if my 50-year-old self could go back to my 17-year-old guitar playing self, I would tell me to, man, maybe write some more songs about just drinking beers and hanging out with girls and having a good time on a Saturday night versus, you know, very moody, introverted, you know, stuff. And it's just like, so anyways, this is the running philosophy I have in like, be a little more Van Halen than Pink Floyd, even though Pink Floyd's my favorite band of all time. And so I try to be a little more Van Halen than Pink Floyd. I hope that that's an analogy that you guys can understand. It's a weird analogy, I understand, but I definitely try and be a little more, I do. I try to be a little more Van Halen than Pink Floyd in life. And like I said, with me stating that, by a mile, Pink Floyd's my favorite band that I've, you know, in life, period. All right, these are not,
Fracturing mode on.
these were,
Mining mode
Q-types. That's what I thought.
mode on.
Pink Floyd versus Van Halen. I was more Pink Floyd, yes. Now I'm about to... Yeah, well, that's exactly right. I get it, says Indigo. I hope that makes... I know that, you know, we have a... I mean, Ryan, you know, not so much you. I know you're younger, but we have an older group. I hopefully they understand what I mean by that. You know, this could be a halfway decent rock. I don't know. It's not a whole lot of red. Yeah, it's only a 13%. I was going to say, I didn't think it... I knew it was going to be better than a blue cap, but this is not going to be a good run. I got my son listening to Pink Floyd. He's 22 now. That's awesome. I remember my dad, you know, crashing into my room in 7th grade, and he was just like, I am so tired of this wall crap. You can find something that's not so depressing. But no, I was a huge Floyd fan, but like I said, that's just me, and it's only because in my streams I just want people to, you know, like, you know, life, they've already got enough complications in life, but like I said, I've really grown to appreciate grumpies, and I've really grown to appreciate salty mics, you know, and a little more critical eye. And to be honest with you, it's funny because info runners or Paul, now and then you'll hear them kind of put things on blast as well. You know what I mean? And I think it's healthy. I don't think it's unhealthy. I mean, look, no one should come on here and say what has happened in 318 is good. It's been a hot mess. I mean, it's been garbola. You know, I mean, it's unplayable. You know what I mean? So they got a ways to go. But you know what? This is a game that I think all of us are gonna, you know, hopefully, I want to, you know, they'll get there with it for sure. All right. All right. Okay. Well, I will tell you, this has been a little bit, definitely, it's taken a little while. You know, this has been my experience the last maybe 4 or 5 times I've gone mining. It has just been a little bit of a slow boat to find resources. And sometimes you find them, but they're unscannable, and like we've definitely seen tonight. But it's just one of those things. It's just a little different than it used to be. All right, what do we got there? There's a 6800. Let's go take a look at that. What's this guy? Just out of curiosity. 1700. Okay. Alrighty, cool. Info runners tends to be a little more aspirational. Salty Mike tends to be a little more grounded. I don't disagree with that. I really, like I said, I've really kind of grown to really appreciate a more critical eye with it. You know what I mean? And I think that it serves an important role in the community. I really do. And a super important role. That's not Quantanium. That's not Quantanium. I think we're super blessed. We have lots of awesome content creators. You know, I like Dig and Space Tomato and Texas Space Navy. I like his stuff. I like and the thing is there are lots of actual small time content creators, like me, little guys, who are really, really fun, that make great content for the game. We're very blessed. We're super blessed. We have a really good community of people. All right, 17 hundo, 51 hundo. Keep it moving. So this is definitely about, like I said, about part and parcel with how things have been. If you weren't streaming, does bed logging help if you're... Hey, Relay, nice to see you. How's 3.18.1 looking? It's about the same as 3.18. That's been my experience so far. There's not a ton of difference between it on the mining front. 3.18 and 3.18.1 seem to be pretty similar so far, which means it's not without its struggles. No, but you know what? One thing I normally definitely should have done by now is just do a little mini jump, and I'll do that now. Normally, within every 15 minutes, I'll mini jump if I don't find something. But I've been chatting with you guys so much, I didn't even think to do it.
Quantum travel engaged.
Just a quick little bat and out.
Quantum travel complete.
Yeah, just like that.
Gear up.
Landing gear up. I didn't know my landing gear was down. That's awesome. All right, let's just kind of rinse and repeat here. There's a 34 hundo. All right, and we'll kind of approach that guy. Relay, how have you been? What's happening? It's nice to see you. All right, we're moving on. We're moving up. We have been having a crazy conversation about kind of all things SC. And it's getting a little quieter now. All right, hold on here.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on.
These are Q types. That's good. Let's go ahead. Cross our fingers. This is going to be a blue cap here. 2%er for sure. Yeah, and what about this guy here? All right, this is going to be a very nice rock. A 35%er, 4631. Ooh, Evo, am I going to CitizenCon? Man, I would love to go to CitizenCon. I've never, of course, never been to one. I started playing Star Citizen in 20. So yeah, I've never been to one before. I will tell you, I'm not really planning on going as of right now, but I would love to go. Would absolutely love to go, and if I don't go to I'll definitely go to one someday. If I don't go to this one, how about any of you? Are any of you planning on attending CitizenCon? That's a great question. Doing well, thanks for asking. Just working my hats off. You know what, Relay? I'm not going to tell you that stability hasn't improved, because it has, but it's still got a long ways to go. I made the Austin Bar Citizen last year. Looking forward to CitizenCon. Eva, what was that like? Was there a lot of, how many? Where exactly? I know SC has like a Texas office. Is that in Austin? Where is the Texas office at for Star Citizen? I guess I don't know what town that is. I'm in LA. Should be going. Nice, Seville. That is awesome. Listen, I love LA. I mean, I'm out there, man. I'm getting some fish tacos, some relleno. I'm eating like a king out in LA. Gotta hang out with Astropub. Yeah, oh, you got to hang out with Astropub. That's awesome. I'd really like to meet Paul. He seems like a neat guy. I'd love to go myself. I'm trying to go to Dragon Con. Nice. It's in Austin. So So Evo, that must have had a lot of, man, that must have been, you know, a healthy bar citizen, I would imagine. 58 likes, by the way, you guys. We did really good today. So much appreciate everybody hanging out and just kind of chewing the fat. Got me majestic. Got my majestic Banu cube. What is that, Evo? Is that some like a piece of swag or something that they gave out? Is that an in-game item? What is that? All right. Cool.
Warning.
What?
Power critical.
I never overcook rocks. Come on now. That's very un-V like. Oh no, I'm gonna do it again. Ah, there's an item they gave away. That's cool. Yeah, I think Citizen Con would be a lot of fun. Just kind of seeing all the, you know, people that are as excited and as nerdy as I am about Star Citizen. That would be great. All right, that's a good sign. That's going to have nothing in it there. Now, I'm going to actually put the sun on my back, by the way, too. That's not going to have anything in it. This guy here is going to be 57%. Boom! That's a hundo right there for sure. No, 40%. Isn't that weird? Look at all that red. So there's a 4. This did not break super clean, so we're going to have some breaks in here. That's okay. 14%. Oh, yeah, we're going to have to put in some work here. $55%. Yeah, this is a working man's cluster. Like, every rock's a break except for, I think, except for one of them. 40, 57, 14, 55, 51. Yikes, look at all this. This is where you'd want the FLTR-XL, right? I mean, that's just the bottom line. So this here is just a 14%er. So, you know, we'll go ahead and just kind of, it's a 1.58 instability. We probably can handle that without the brand. Racing up in there, okay. Cut it back to 5%. Keeping an eye on it at this range. Need to earn your quant money today. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's funny. The presence of Boros throws off the stability reading. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's definitely concentrations of borate in this, which is good. You know, it's always good to... Nothing wrong with getting a little bit of borate in there as well. And that's, you know, that's one thing I definitely will also refine along with it. Lots of times I don't refine all the junk with it, but borate is definitely one I'll refine. So there's the 14%er. I think there's a 40. We'll do that one next. 51. I think it's this guy down here. Yep, here's their 40%er. We'll do it next. So we're really going to have to be just very discerning with our scooping laser. We want to probably get reads on everything first before we scoop. So it's not too terrible. 5% looks like it's pushing up slowly. I keep bouncing between 5 and 3 here. Alright, I'm kind of...
Warning. Power critical.
I killed the laser there for a sec. I'll put it right back at 2%. Yeah. I took it to 7. Back down to 1.
Power critical.
Very easy to overcook on these right now. Do a lot of feathering there. I did not fire a Branto, so I was happy about that. Alright. I think we got a 50%. There's a 55, a 51, and I think one of these is a 57. So yeah, this broke incredibly unclean. That's okay. It's fun. It's fun to do a little bit of work to pull these in. Now I will fire a Brant on this one. 2.34 instability and not a whole lot of mass to offset it. Good. Let's see, 6% looks like it's going to hold it in there just fine. Now the goal is I try and normally will fire a Brant and let it try and hold it into the optimal as best I can. And then, you know, once this rock breaks, move it to the next rock as quickly as possible. And as long as you can get the next rock into the green optimal before 30 seconds, you should be able to use one charge and break 2 purples with 1 Brant charged. Doesn't always work, but you know what? That's usually my goal. All right, so we're bouncing over to this one really quick. I got 45 seconds left, so we should be able to push, push, push. It's about to get in now. It popped into the green, and it popped into the green at about, 32 left. So we should be able to get this second break in, as long as it doesn't fall out, with 1 Brant charge. 30K an hour and half down the drain. Oh yeah, it definitely can happen for sure. An hour and a half. You know, it was funny. I think somebody did a recent I think it was Astropub had a recent podcast about, you know, having your respecting your time or whatever. And interesting. You know, it definitely can be a frustration, Seville, for sure. Alrighty. 30Ks are back again. Not as bad as they used to be. Yeah, they're pretty back though. I'll go ahead and fire this Brant here, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they're going to how much they're going to change things up. What the new meta is going to be as far as locating rocks. You know, whether or not the prospector is going to be as efficient as it used to be. You know, I know that because they're doing kind of that porous versus non-porous. You know, density is going to play a role as far as probably for resistance. So it's definitely going to be interesting. All right, we got a lot of scanning that we're going to need to do here. Cool.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode off. Mining mode on. Extraction mode on.
This is where an FLTR-XL would come in super handy, right? Because, you know, there's going to be a lot of there's a hundo right there. We'll prioritize any hundos. Is Crash Recovery still in the game, or did it disappear with PES? It's definitely supposed to still be in the game, although I don't think it's been working as good as it used to, Evo. What was weird, remember when they first put in 30K protection and then it didn't 30K? Like the same time they fixed 30K was with 30K protection. I don't think I 30K'd in 3.16.1 for almost a month. You know, it was crazy how stable that particular patch was, 3.16 or 3.16.1. But since then, the 30K protection's been a godsend. There's another hundo. And so I will tell you, the last couple times I have tested the 30K protection, it has not worked for me. But I don't necessarily want to say that it's like that across the board. Crouch, I think, said did Crouch, are you still around? Did it work for you? Excited about the new tractor beam? Yes, I am excited about tractor beam stuff. As you can imagine, I have a whole lot of use cases in my mind for tractor beams relay, and I'm sure you know what I mean. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about. I really am excited about that. Sure, I really want the apartment to work. When you say, what are you talking about, Sherm? Welcome to the channel, by the way. Not a name I recognize. 30K protection is if you happen to have a 30K, which means like it's a client side, or pardon me, it's a server side crash, that the stuff that was in your ship should be saved to the database, and you should be able to, when you pull that ship, I'm still here, it did not work. Lost my full, yeah, that's what I was saying. my experience has been 30K protection's just not working since with PES. So I was wondering if, like, that's why I asked Crouch if he was still around, and if 30K protection worked for him. Because, yeah, it's not working as good as it used to. And it definitely was working good for a while. All right, so there's 4 100%ers. That's not too bad. But, yeah, it's just if it crashes and it's on them, then you can at least get your stuff back. All right, there's a 69%er. I'll just say nice to that, and we'll leave it at that.
Fracturing mode on.
All right, so we're gonna prioritize these 100%ers first, and there were 4 of them. There's the other guy. I will let you know if it worked in a second. Fair enough. It used to say like retrieving in Stanton, and that's how you knew that it had actually worked. Indigo says the lore of Mole having multiple computers to sync lasers versus Prospector is stupid. Modern aircraft today can communicate and sync weapons. Yeah. I was always hoping Indigo, and I'll just say, and I said it a long time ago, and I'll say it again, I had always hoped that when they talked about making the Mole better, that it would in no way, shape, or form come at the expense of the Prospector. So I fundamentally wish they would have gone in a different direction with it. I understand they're trying to promote the gameplay. I wish they would have chosen to just buff the Mole or create much larger rocks that only the Mole could deal with its size 2 lasers and that type of thing. But obviously that they decided to make the change they made, and being the good star citizen that I am, I just put on my big boy pants and move on with it. There's a decent percentage there. Go ahead and still on the roadmap has been letting players have their own apartment or have you can access. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I hear you. I'm looking forward to our own personal spaces where we can actually put our trophies up and that type of stuff. Yeah, I think that would be great. All right, there's a 54. That's going to be my next priority. So we're at 25. We're north of 25 SCU here, guys. Not bad. That looks like it's going to fill us up. So definitely an FLTR-XL would have been a helpful thing. Let's go ahead and grab the sticks here and spool the drive, and let's start heading back. Yeah, it's been on the roadmap for a while. I'm really looking forward to player-owned habs, that type of thing for sure. I wish more people had big boy pants. The amount of moaning sometimes is exhausting. I don't disagree, Crouch. I always take the game for what it is. And I definitely have been guilty of being a little bit of a negative Nancy occasionally with it. But like I said, it always comes back to trying to be a little more Van Halen than Pink Floyd for me. No sign of all your ore is a nerd bug this patch. No, I haven't seen that one, Evo. Thank goodness. I don't, Evo, if I've ever told you, maybe I haven't. We'll tell you a funny story about that. The Mole needs to be much better. It's a more expensive ship, harder to operate, deserves more rewards, not the same rewards. I agree, Indigo. I wish it had its own kind of class of stuff. Like the Rock does rock stuff, the Prospector does practice. I wish they'd have done like 13,000 mass or 18,000 mass rocks, but you know what? They decided to implement it a different way, and I'm just going to ride it out. No, Evo, I'll tell you a quick funny story. Which is, I pressed my 12-year-old into Mole duty with me one day. Of course, child labor being what it is. And I told him, I'm like, listen, we don't want to collect any inert. We had broke the rocks up. We don't want to collect any inert. Just make sure it's all pure Quantanium or has Quantanium in it. And all of a sudden, we're like 30, 40 SCU. We're rocking. All of a sudden, I see like a bunch of inert coming on board. And I'm like, son, I told you not to collect any inert. He's like, I'm not, Papa. And I'm like, yes, you are. Clearly, you are. So it dawned on me after I had been like kind of a little tough on him, like that it totally was just the inert bug. And I was like, later that day, we were in town. I was like, buddy, what can Papa buy you to? I was just like, son, I told you not to scoop a nerd or whatever. And he's like, I'm not, Papa. And I was totally putting the hammer down on him for doing it, but it was the inert bug that had caused the issue. So it was one of those things where later on, I used the power of my purse to buy me out of that trouble with him. Wonder how many will be selling their prospectors. Well, it's hard to say. I don't want to oversell it. I mean, let's just see how it plays out before we all get too crazy with it. My other friend and I are going to report into CPS for child labor. Yeah, my friend. Yeah, that's this kid. Yeah, it is funny. I mean, my son and I have where we spend time every other weekend gaming. He'll pick I've had to play Roblox games with him, and then I'll make him play something like Knights of the Old Republic or something along those lines, and we'll play it together, and and we find common ground, and I think that's always fun, and I always end up kind of having to play some crazy SCP game or something that he's into, and it's always fun. It's great. Org seems to be like the idea of swarms of prospectors over moles. Well, we definitely did that before. That we always had 2 prospector breaking teams, which is of 2. So 4 prospectors would go out in front of 1 mole. That's the way that we arranged it. So we prioritized scouting in that level. Scouts were always, the most important thing is locating the stuff you're going to mine first. Once you located the stuff, typically we would send out 4 prospectors to do breaking and 1 mole to scoop. And the reason we use the mole as a scooper is because of the 96 SCU. Co-target game. Yeah, it is a good game for sure. I guess I cared too much about SC back then. Today I'm more apathetic about SC. When it works, I'm happy. I'm in the same boat. I mean, I'm not going to get too... I play this game for... for entertainment. I'm not going to get too over my skis, about things one way or the other with it. It's just... it's not healthy. I mean, it's not healthy to get too lost in the sauce. It's... this is a very big, audacious project. I appreciate the level of complexity that they've got going on here. Heck, my software company, we do a software that's just like a standard database that number crunches just like people analytics, and we have tons of bugs. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like trying to code for this monstrosity. I'm writing bot software to have alts do scouting while I'm sleeping. See, that's the thing. I am really looking forward to scouting gameplay, right? For sure. So, go ahead. It's going to be right down there.
Please proceed to...
Hold on. It's weird, because that almost looks open to me already. It is. That's so weird. That's definitely... it. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. It was already open. All right, whatever. I mean, I'm okay with it. But it just seemed strange to me that it was already open. Maybe somebody just flew out of it. All right. Gonna rotate on the way down here. Love that little twist landing. It's cool. Wait, scouting?
Landing complete.
Well, we would prioritize scout people finding, Quantanium. What you would do is you would speed fly over, Lyria, and anything more than 2 rocks is always Quantanium. So you'd have, your people that are going to flex and be your, they would start out scouting, but eventually they would become your Overwatch, right? And so you'd locate all of the clusters that you're going to mine that night, and then you would kind of then organize around that. Now, basically, we normally would have, like I said, either 2-man or 4-man prospector teams, and they would do the breaking, and they would have everything broke down, and the mole would come at the very end and do the scooping, and then just if you had everything working just right, you'd have your scouts would be out in front of your prospectors, and your prospectors would be out in front of your you
Welcome
would be out in
to the
front of your
XL
mole,
vehicle
and you could
retrieval
really,
system.
really get it done that way. And like I said, I think the best we did is a slightly over 2 hours, 2 hours and about 15 minutes. We did 500, and some change. It was like 502 or something. SCU of Quantanium in a little over 2 hours one time. That's the very best we ever did, which is, you know, pretty darn righteous. We made a lot of money. What areas are good on Lyria other than next to Valiant? It doesn't matter. Anywhere on Lyria. I like to actually fly sometimes to OM marker 1 or OM marker 2 and just fly, you know, fly straight down. It doesn't matter for sure. Pisces Scout with mining gadgets. Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. I like Pisces Scout. I'm going to have a new Reliant Core Ace. Yeah, I like the Core. The Reliants are so, they're a great ship, Seville. I definitely, I like having those around. That's why I'm excited about the Mist Fury, because it's going to be like another Mist fighter type.
Hi, good to have you back.
All right.
Finding everything all right?
So, you know what? Even though this has been incredibly, you know, just kind of a slow, and look at there's Sabores as well. I really do want to mention, you know, so tonight has been, you know, it's been slow, right? But we still did 2654. So let me crunch some numbers here, right? Because it's important too. It's going to be 2654 plus 2550. That is 4 plus 2550. That's 5204. So 5204 times 88 is still 457,000. You know, so in a little bit, you know, in a couple hours, in a very slow stream, you know, a couple hour stream, we still did well over 400,000 SCU of Quantanium. So, you know, I mean, I understand mining isn't quite where it used to be, but it's still not bad. You can still actually, you know, even on a slow light night like I just had, make well over 400,000 in just a couple of hours. And so, you know, it still has to process, and you still have to get it into a cargo ship, and you still have to haul it, but it's still, you know, it's doing pretty good. So I just wanted to say I was floored tonight by how many of you decided to join, how many new faces. By the way, Sherm, welcome to the channel. Not a name I recognize. Seville. So many Evo, so many wonderful new faces. Of course, many old faces. So blessed this channel. I never dreamed in my, you know, in all my days that I would just start this little mining channel and it would do so well. So one of the things I always like to say at the end of my stream is the Quantanium was pretty good. The coffee was excellent, but the conversation is what made the stream today. You guys make the stream. The way that you share, the way that you help each other, the way that we collectively come together and we discuss just Star Citizen. Man, it was just an enjoyable time. I had such a good time tonight. Ruminator, thank you so much, sir. I hope that you all are doing well. Please do like and sub. And like I said, look, there's big changes coming in 319, and I am going to be all over those changes. I'm going to be working my tail off to make sure that I keep you guys informed on what's going to be kind of the new meta, and hopefully they're going to change this in a way where you know, that we're all going to find it enjoyable. Crouch, thank you so much, sir. You know, I really had a great time tonight. Please, everybody, take care of yourself, and I will see you all around the verse.